Let's dive into an absolute bloodbath. Inside this foggy house, a man with a burned leg begs for extra time. The brutal loan shark who burned him just coldly laughs. "Pay up," he says, "or start chopping up your organs." His scarred lackey totally agrees, saying, "This guy needs more pain to learn respect." Nearby, a woman quietly stands there, just typing on her phone. The gang boss notices this and violently yanks the phone away. He mocks her, calling the cops totally useless. But then he glances at her screen and he is actually stunned. She was not dialing for help. She was texting her son, desperately warning him to stay away from the house tonight. The scarred thug flashes a sick grin. Going after her kid, that is definitely the perfect way to break her spirit completely. She starts screaming, crying for them to leave her boy out of this as two goons grab her. The boss orders them to shut up. As his guys tie her up, he sarcastically promises he will not lay a single finger on her precious son. But here is where things get wild. Watch closely. The front door creaks open and a totally unhinged smirk spreads across the boss's face. A high school kid in uniform stands in the doorway, looking completely exhausted as he gets ready to enter. As the door swings wide, his gagged and tied-up mother mentally begs him to turn around and run away fast. But the kid steps right inside, completely unaware of the armed thugs hiding nearby. He just calmly takes off his shoes, drops his bag, and walks in. Boom. A red-haired thug suddenly jumps out from behind a wall, swinging a bat. The heavy bat smashes directly into the back of the boy's head. His poor mother watches in absolute horror, crying violently while struggling against her tight ropes. But the thug freezes. His bat is completely stuck, like some invisible force just caught it. In a flash, the high schooler spins around and lands one incredibly devastating punch straight to his face. The goon drops like a rock, and the whole room goes dead quiet in pure shock. The loan shark stares in pure terror, realizing he just angered an absolute monster. An insane aura explodes from the kid, who glares at the boss with a clenched fist. Panicking, the gang boss screams at his guys to take him down. Another thug swings his bat from behind, but the kid dodges it like it is nothing. He pivots, driving his fist right into the guy's ribs, cracking solid bone. The thug gasps, spitting up in pain. Before he even blinks, the boy punches that exact same spot, completely shattering his rib cage. The guy screams out loud, his face twisting in agony. While he screams, a third thug lunges with a flying kick, but the kid dodges with absolute lightning speed. He fires back a brutal kick to the attacker's knee, dropping him straight to the floor in a miserable heap. Right then, a blonde gangster sneaks up and violently shatters a wooden chair over the kid's head. But he does not even flinch. You saw that coming, right? He just stares at the terrified blonde guy, who suddenly realizes his chair totally shattered on impact. In the next second, the boy launches the blonde thug across the room, crashing him brutally against a wall and completely shocking the boss. Completely terrified, the boss stares and mutters, "What the hell is this kid?" Sweating, he pulls out a sharp knife and glares menacingly at the helpless tied-up parents. Flashing a cruel smirk, he taunts the kid, asking if his beaten dad can even walk after taking that thrashing. Out of nowhere, a massive heavy iron appears right at his face. Before the boss can blink, the boy slams it into him with insane power. His parents sit there totally paralyzed by this absolute bloodbath. The massive hit leaves the boss's head literally buried into the drywall. From inside the hole, he groans about his neck and screams for someone to call an ambulance. When nobody answers him at all, he furiously yells out. Then he realizes the crazy truth. This teenager just soloed his entire gang. Panting hard, the boy finally takes a tiny second to recover. His father just stares in absolute silence while his mom closes her eyes, feeling huge relief. He steps over to untie them. He looks down and mutters that, if they did not want him fighting, they should not be this broke. But mid-sentence, he suddenly drops cold. His mother screams his name in absolute horror. Kang Sun Wu. Sometime later at a massive city hospital, the ER is totally crazy. Bloodied gang members groan in severe pain while busy doctors scramble to help. Right in the middle of this mess, a sharp-looking guy in a suit stands by reception. He asks the front desk what happened, and she says some local loan shark gang got into a massive brawl. Apparently, they snatched a high schooler's parents, and the kid wiped out all 10 of them completely solo. The suited man is totally mind-blown. Close by, the broken loan shark barks orders to kill the kid, but a lackey reminds him Kang Sun Wu is paying all their crazy medical bills. The blonde thug chimes in that the legendary Black Bear is coming, so our main character is totally dead meat. Hearing Black Bear mentioned, "Trust me, we are just getting started. Let's jump right into this." He asks the receptionist for the kid's room 202 and instantly sprints straight down that hallway. Running at full speed, he figures, if the Black Bear is involved, this student might just be a top-tier fighter candidate. This is the absolute perfect chance to verify his true potential. Stopping at room 202, he reads the nameplate Kang. The suit sighs. Such a shame this kid crossed paths with the Black Bear. Peeking through that tiny door window, the suited man spots the student inside. Inside, Kang is staring down a freakishly tall, insanely muscular guy. His physique barely even human. This absolute unit the Black Bear scoffs. He never expected to be summoned just for a high school punk. He tells Kang it's strictly business, just collecting debts. But the bear stares genuinely amused. The kid isn't showing a single ounce of fear against a literal hulking monster like him. In response, Kang rips the IV from his hand, fully ready for a brawl. Watch closely now. The giant declares it is time to teach him true fear, raising his massive hand to strike. But Kang is way faster, throwing a brutal counterpunch to the face. The suit watches, totally shocked by the kid's speed. But despite that lightning-fast counter, the Black Bear casually catches the fist with just one hand. He stops Kang dead in his tracks before slamming him violently into the floor. The suit sighs, of course. The bear's victory was totally guaranteed. The massive guy mocks him. He says no matter how crazy Kang is, attacking him is a guaranteed death sentence. He writes the kid off as nothing special, just another nobody who will die without a second thought. But to his absolute shock, Kang starts pushing himself right back up to his feet. The student glares and snaps back, "You talk way too much for a nobody." Completely furious at the disrespect, the Black Bear's face twists into this sick, sadistic grin. He growls that this is exactly why crushing people is so fun, charging straight at Kang. The suit realizes things just got real. The bear is literally going for the kill and he needs to step in. But wait, Kang casually sidesteps the attack. Leaving the beast totally stunned by his speed, Kang follows up the dodge with a clean, devastating kick right to the giant's face. The man in the suit absolutely cannot believe his eyes. The insane impact literally caves the Black Bear's face in as he stumbles and completely eats the floor. You and I both know how wild this is. The spectator mutters he has never seen the Black Bear drop. But the giant does not stay down for long, getting up in pure blinding rage. The suit nods to himself. Obviously the guy known as the king of physique wouldn't ever go down that easily. The Black Bear sneers, mocking Kang. Did he seriously think a kick from some high schooler could actually take him out? But before he can even finish his sentence, Kang lands another brutal punch on his jaw. "This makes absolutely no sense," the suit whispers. Kang immediately follows up with another bone-shattering punch, leaving the Black Bear totally dazed from the crazy combo. Even while stumbling, the giant manages to grab Kang, locking him tight inside his massive arms. He growls about being forced to use his ultimate move on a kid. The spectator's eyes go wide. He immediately recognizes that deadly hold, the Black Bear's signature bone crusher. He knows he has to stop this right now. The Black Bear starts crushing Kang with every ounce of his strength, laughing like an absolute maniac that the kid looks pathetic. Finally making his move, the suited man bursts into the room screaming for the bear to stop. But the massive beast completely ignores him, squeezing even harder as Kang is trapped in that lethal grip. The suit can only watch in absolute terror. A heavy, suffocating silence drops over the room. Everyone is frozen in this moment of unbearable tension. Then, the hulking man freezes. He wonders if his senses are broken because he knows he just used 100% power. Suddenly, Kang moves, resting a hand on the giant's shoulder, completely startling the massive beast. The brute freaks out, demanding to know how Kang is moving and why his bones haven't snapped. Going crazy with rage, the guy squeezes with absolutely everything he has, going all out. But as Kang slowly stands up, the brute just stammers in total disbelief. Before he gets an answer, Kang lunges forward, launching a monstrous headbutt right into the man's face. Now sprawled out on the floor, the dazed giant actually asks if Kang's bones are made of metal. In response, Kang delivers another headbutt even more devastating than the last one. It completely caves the guy's face in, leaving his features totally deformed. He just keeps spamming an insane flurry of brutal headbutts. The suit finally jumps in, begging Kang to stop since the bear is already knocked out cold. He seriously urges the kid to just calm down. He nervously warns that if this fight escalates anymore, cleaning up the mess is going to be impossible. And that is where we leave it. He grabs his phone, calmly reporting that someone in building B room 202 had a nasty car accident. Wild, right? Alright, stick with me here. Kang spins around, demanding to know if this mystery guy is working with the criminals. The suited man just stares completely serious and offers a partnership. Kang totally scoffs. What kind of absolute nonsense is this? But then a weird crew hauling heavy, suspicious-looking gear barges in. The team spots the massive bear knocked out cold, asking the suit if cleanup should start right now. He nods. That beast isn't waking up anytime soon, so they immediately get to work. Kang just watches in dead silence. He is totally baffled by this insane turn. The suit steps up, handing Kang a slick business card. He claims the contact on it can give him exactly what he wants. Confused, Kang takes it. The catch, he just has to fight for whoever the boss serves. There is a weird syringe symbol on the card. Absolutely disgusted, Kang crushes it, telling the guy off. Furious at this whole messy situation, he storms right out. Walking away, he chucks the crumpled card into the trash. He mutters about not fighting for cash, wondering what kind of cheap scam they are pulling. Watching him leave, the suit smirks. The kid has good instincts, sure, but a stubborn mindset like that can break in an instant. Now pay close attention here. Later, Kang is washing up in a hospital bathroom. He stares in the mirror. His life is garbage, but he still wants to honor his sick mother's dream to stay clean. Right then, the door swings open. A man in a worn brown coat, his actual father, asks what he is doing here. The old man blocks the exit, asking where Kang thinks he is going, looking like that. Kang snaps. Whose fault is it anyway? He explodes, reminding his dad he used to be a boxing champ. Now he has done nothing but drown them in massive debt. Kang totally shreds his so-called champion pride from some random local gym. Why did he really get booted from the national team anyway? He ends his rant, screaming that his dad cares more about his bruised ego than his desperately sick and weak wife. His father stays dead silent. Turning to leave, his dad warns him not to escape the hospital. Kang pauses at the door, muttering how he hates all this. Then bam! A heavy wave of dizziness hits. Kang hits the floor, gripping his pounding head. He blames lack of sleep. But honestly, his head always feels like it is exploding whenever he has to face his dad. Lying on the cold tiles, his hatred boils. The old man never brought home cash, just came back covered in fresh bruises. He remembers his dad practically begging, bowing to the parents of the punks Kang fought. That memory, pure, unfiltered shame. He wants zero connection to the guy. There is no way his father gave it his absolute best. You and I both know this feeling, right? Sinking straight into a bottomless pit. Just a high school kid, completely powerless. He cannot even score a sketchy fishing boat job, let alone pay for their daily survival. He remembers kids inviting him out to hang. He just ran away, lying that his schedule was packed. Then a worse memory hits. Street thugs trashing his motorcycle, totally ruining his life. Fighting those jerks just piled onto his dad's crushing debt. But despite the misery, he cannot run away. Not if it means ditching his mom. His life, yeah, it is an absolute disaster. Time skips. Kang wakes up on a stretcher, rocking patient gear. He passed out again, wondering when they even moved him here. He snatches his phone, desperately checking how many hours he has been totally out. There is a super cryptic text from his dad. It claims tonight is finally the time to reveal the absolute truth. Kang scoffs. What kind of dark secrets is the old man still hiding? He ignores the text and dials his mom instantly. When she answers, he frantically asks if everything is okay back home. Her voice is shaking. She tells him to stay away. Real gangsters are literally waiting at their front door. Shocker, she admits she actually transferred him rooms. She registered him under a fake identity just to keep him totally safe. He demands her location. She whispers she is laying low in a cheap motel near cops. She begs him not to worry about her, warning that this call cannot last much longer. She orders him to keep running before slamming the phone down. Kang just freezes, absolute rage at himself boiling over. It hits him hard. This is his fault. He dragged his mom into danger. No hesitation. He sprints out, ready to rescue her. But right at that second, his phone suddenly lights up again. It is his dad calling. He answers, but it is a stranger's voice. Trust me, you and I absolutely need to see what happens next. Stick with me here. Kang picks up the call, totally unaware that his world is about to crash. His father just collapsed and is totally unresponsive. That news hits Kang like a freight train. We see his dad sprawled on the concrete, beaten down hard, while two friends frantically try keeping him alive. Fast forward to the hospital. Kang is standing right next to his father's ICU bed. The poor guy is wrapped in bandages from head to toe, barely breathing, hooked up to life support machines. A doctor drops a bombshell. The surgery is crazy complicated and just starting costs over 100 million won, ignoring future treatments. This absolutely shatters Kang. He just crumbles in a corner, sobbing, completely crushed by the sheer weight of it. He blames himself for everything. Drowning in guilt, he regrets every single angry word he ever said. Utterly hopeless and lost, he freezes. But then a sudden memory hits him like lightning. That creepy suit guy's business card, the one he tossed in the trash, desperate hope suddenly sparks. He desperately needs that card. Sprinting out, he dashes straight back to room 202 where he fought that bear. Bursting inside, he drops to his knees, frantically digging through the garbage can. But it's totally useless. The card is gone. Absolute despair completely crushes him again. Bawling his eyes out, he apologizes to his unconscious dad, totally convinced he's useless and can't do anything. Sobbing, he whispers, he should have just died back there. But suddenly, a mysterious voice echoes from the doorway. Now watch this closely. The suit guy is back, asking our boy if he's finally changed his mind. Kang doesn't hesitate immediately, demanding to know the payout. The guy casually drops 10 billion won, leaving Kang absolutely stunned. He claims even losing brings insane popularity, which basically translates to massive piles of cash anyway. Then he smirks, asking if Kang is ready to roll. Cut to a shady back room. They're facing off across a table, and the suit guy tells Kang to chill before signing any sketchy contracts. Scanning the massive document, Kang spots the phrase "fighting ward." immediately questioning what the heck that is. The guy explains it's a brutal underground arena where massive monsters fight, maxing out their bodies with illegal drugs. Kang instantly shuts that down, swearing he will never touch any forbidden steroids or doping. In response, the dude just pops open a briefcase packed with glowing colored vials. He clarifies this isn't normal doping. These liquids can give absolute godlike strength to someone literally at death's door. He quickly notes it's totally optional though. Kang immediately demands to know who this guy really is. Apologizing for the delay, he introduces himself as Kim Min-sok, working for a massive VIP of the fighting ward. He claims his identity doesn't matter right now. The main focus is the doping juice. You and I both know this is rigged. Kim reveals every single champion uses these enhancements. Kang firmly refuses again, but Kim aggressively pushes him to at least hear the battle plan first. Internally, Kang is boiling with rage, realizing Kim isn't listening at all. But Kim keeps explaining. If Kang smashes his way into the top 20 fighters, he gets to pick a sponsor. Then he can lock in Kim's wealthy VIP boss, who will fund his epic path to victory. Kang just wants the cash and agrees, demanding the money right now. But Kim drops a huge catch. You only get paid after entering. This sneaky condition totally blindsides Kang. He's absolutely stunned. He snaps, asking if Kim is joking and if he actually has to work for him now. Kim tells him to relax, cutting straight to the chase. Does Kang need this cash to save his family? Super confused, Kang demands how Kim knows his personal business. Kim makes the ultimate offer. Fight for him and his family stays perfectly safe. The massive hospital bills, completely covered. Those annoying debt collectors wiped out for good. Kang is super skeptical, wondering how he can trust a stranger. Then his phone suddenly vibrates. It's his mom calling. Panicking, he answers, terrified that something else went horribly wrong. Shockingly, his mom says his dad's treatment is fully paid, and there are literally bodyguards outside. Kang is completely speechless. Taking advantage, Kim mentions a secret safe house is already prepped for his dad's peaceful recovery. Trust me, we all know Kang has literally zero other options. Backed into a corner, Kang lies to his mom, saying he hired them. He promises to call later and hangs up fast. Stick with me, Kang is looking super relieved here, with his family finally safe. He asks Kim if the bills come out of his 10 billion won prize. Kim smirks. 10 billion? That is just the starting bet. It turns out the total prize pool skyrockets depending on how many people bet on Kang. Winning could bag him 15 billion won. Kang is absolutely floored. Pure insanity. Kim casually drops that 15 billion is chump change for top fighters. But then he drops the brutal reality. Most average guys end up passing out, or worse, dead. Barely 10% of newbies survive this arena in one piece. Kang is terrified. How do people die in a secret ring? Kim laughs. That is the whole point of an underground tournament. They bury the evidence. Pointing at a contract, he tells Kang to sign. Step 1 in building his very own death alibi. A fake death alibi. That phrase totally creeps Kang out. Kim explains the hospital funds this whole crazy death match to manufacture those perfect cover-ups. A simple fake purchase for a fighter, a slick camera angle, and boom, they can fake any death on demand. Kang asks, what if I report you guys? Kim chuckles. They would just label Kang a total psycho hopped up on heavy meds. Plus, they would declare Kang legally dead before he even opened his mouth. Kim glares at him, dead serious. The absolute beauty of a corrupt hospital system. Kim says the final choice is all on Jinwoo. Some dudes take days to think it over, but our guy, zero hesitation here. Just keep your promise, Kang says, grabbing the pen to sign. As he grabs the paper, an evil smirk creeps across Kim's face. Now watch closely, a nurse sneaks up right behind him. He turns to ask her what is up, but bam, syringe straight into his neck. Kang rips it out, screaming, but the drugs hit insanely fast. Everything gets blurry, and he hits the floor cold. As Kang fades out, Kim casually apologizes. Just a little nap juice to transport him to the arena. He reminds the knocked-out kid that his family stays safe only if he fights. A bit later, Kang groggily wakes up. Blinding lights everywhere, and a shadowy guy is standing right over him. Totally confused, he wonders, wait, am I dead? Blinking his eyes open, he spots this dude in weird clothes. What is happening? Suddenly he hears a loud mob of people outside the nearby door. Stuck on a stretcher, Kang demands answers. The stranger just tells him to zip it and keep moving. You will see soon enough. With pure dread in his eyes, the guy mutters that this place is hell. Meanwhile, some execs are talking. Meet Cha Yun-woo, the Hosan Group's vice boss. He glares at Kim, asking if this stupid plan actually makes sense. You and I both know betting on a high schooler sounds completely insane, right? Yun-woo absolutely agrees. Can he be their new rep? Kim nods, admitting even Vice President Hak Nam cracked up when he first heard the pitch. Super annoyed, Yun-woo demands to know why that helps. Kim explains it is a trap. They want Hak Nam to totally underestimate them because Kang looks like a ridiculous choice. Yun-woo scoffs. Does Kim actually think some random kid can crush a boss like Haknam? Kim drops a bomb. After that brutal black bear fight, they checked Kang's stats. The kid's physical specs are absolutely off the charts. Shocked, the vice boss tells him to repeat that immediately. Back inside the crazy arena, Kang gets woken up by a brutal kick to the face. A guard aims a gun, ordering the attacker back. The dude laughs it off as a simple joke. Out of nowhere, a drone buzzes overhead. Its speaker snaps on, ordering Kang up. Registration is fully complete. Super confused, Kang checks out his weird uniform. What on earth are you talking about? The drone ignores him, entirely announcing the very first random survival battle is kicking off. 200 newbies have to prove their worth to enter the main ring. It is a doping test. Everyone gets a random power-up syringe. Meanwhile, rich elites are already chilling far away, betting big on the survivors. Kang's enemy instantly grabs his needle to juice up. But Kang, he refuses. He flashes back to the promises he broke to his mom, like getting into crazy brawls. No drugs for him. But trust me, you are going to want to see what happens after that sudden scream. Stick with me here, you and I are watching this fight go crazy. That empty syringe in the blood, his opponent just fully transformed. His body is grotesquely mutated now, blasting out an aura of pure wild power. Just look at that terrifying, twisted face. Roaring like an absolute beast, he screams about taking power, doping while a blinding purple aura violently erupts around him. Before Kang can even process this madness, the guy is already airborne, launching straight at him with a brutal double kick. Kang barely dodges it. The heavy strike smashes into the wall right behind him, completely cracking the solid concrete. Staring at this freakishly huge, muscle-bound freak, Kang is just left wondering what kind of actual monster he is fighting today. He stares in pure shock. How the hell did this guy sprout such insanely dense muscles in just a few seconds? Hovering right nearby, a camera drone broadcasts every single bloody moment to a crowd of wealthy VIPs. Suddenly, a cold mechanical voice announces that the fighter Han Chayul has successfully completed his massive power boost. Han roars with pure hype. He screams that he hit the jackpot with this upgrade, claiming his luck is absolutely unmatched. He starts screaming about escaping this hellhole and crushing every single person who ever dared to mock his skinny frame. Boom, another massive leap. He charges straight at Kang, vowing to totally wipe this little brat off the map. Han closes in fast, but Kang just smirks. He greets that charge with a sharp punch to the face, dropping into a slick boxing stance. Completely stunned, Han screams, asking if he is being mocked right now. He simply cannot handle Kang's cold disrespect. Meanwhile, Kang realizes something big. Han has insane raw power now, but his reaction speed, that hasn't improved at all. Now watch this closely. Kang waits for an opening, but Han suddenly lunges with blinding speed, catching him completely off guard. A devastating clean hit, right to the head. Kang gets slammed face first, straight into the hard ground. Kang knows right away one wrong move against a beast like this, and it is instantly game over for him. Still stuck on the floor, Kang throws out a desperate kick, but Han sees it coming from a mile away. A twisted smile hits Han's face as he dodges. Boom. Another direct hit sends Kang flying across the room. The sheer force of those two strikes is just absolutely staggering. While Kang flies through the air, Han ruthlessly snatches his leg. The pure pain on Kang's face is obvious. Han laughs, bragging that reading movements is useless now. He is just going to crush this kid with pure brute strength. Gripping Kang's leg with just one massive hand, this monster slams him down into the dirt with absolutely full force. These heavy impacts leave Kang bruised and totally battered. Laughing like a maniac, Han brags about completely shattering the boy's spirit. Crouching low, he preps for a massive jump, shouting that he wants to see exactly how much a human body can shatter. He launches himself skyward. The launch alone carries so much raw force that it totally cracks the ground beneath him. Hanging right in midair, he screams that absolutely nobody will ever force him out of this arena again. Flashing a psychotic grin, he claims his crown as the new king. Then he comes crashing down, aiming a killer kick at our guy. The heavy foot connects. Han jokes that snapping ribs is the best part, keeping his foot firmly planted on Kang's chest to pin him. You saw that hit, right? But wait, a quick flashback shows Kim talking with the deputy chief. He drops a massive secret. Kang's actual bone structure is 10 times stronger than a normal person's. Boom, back to reality. Kang's hand suddenly shoots up, gripping Han's giant foot and completely startling the massive fighter. Lightning fast, Kang delivers a beautiful kick right to Han's chin, forcing the big guy to stagger backward. Han tries to counter by grabbing his leg, but Kang is way too quick. He twists out and leaps backward to create safe distance. Totally baffled, Han wonders how Kang survived that without doping. Then it hits him, the effects of his own power drug are starting to fade. At the exact same time, Kang notices his opponent's stamina is heavily draining away with every single passing second. A fresh plan clicks in his head. Keep his distance, stay sharp, and wear this freak down with lightning-fast punches right to the face. Kang steps in cautiously. but Han thinks it is a sloppy charge and recklessly lunges forward for a massive attack. Kang is way too fast, smoothly ducking right under that wild swing. He pops up and buries a nasty punch into Han's face, catching him totally off guard. Angry Han throws a heavy body shot to retaliate, but Kang reads that sluggish move from a mile away. He dodges perfectly, slipping the strike and connecting with another devastating punch straight into Han's heavy jaw. Stumbling backward, Han is reeling from the pure speed. Before he can even blink, boom, another heavy fist just completely smashes into his face. The big guy just cannot keep up anymore. Spotting the perfect opening, Kang winds up to deliver an absolutely devastating right hook. But wait, just before it lands, Han suddenly surges forward violently, grabbing Kang with both of his massive hands. Gotcha, Han sneers, bragging he took those hits on purpose. But Kang just smiles, he let himself be caught. Trust me, you're gonna love what happens next. Alright, stick with me here. You're about to see one of the wildest kangaroo kicks in Manhwa history. In a flash, Kang launches both feet straight into Han's face with absolute precision. The impact is absolutely brutal, completely crushing Han's features. He drops backward, completely defenseless and numb, muttering that he has no idea what's happening. He's absolutely furious. His own body won't react. Being beaten by a kid with zero doping, his pride just can't handle it. Then his eyes dart across the room, locking right onto that leftover syringe meant for Kang. He desperately scrambles for the needle. Kang instantly reads the wild play and sprints forward to intercept him. Now watch closely, Kang leaps for the finisher, but he's too late. Han stabs the syringe straight into his skull. A system window flashes instantly. Stamina doping successfully applied and surging through his veins. Raging with power, Han launches a massive body slam. Kang can't dodge. He takes the brutal impact head-on and gets seriously wrecked. Han lifts him high in the air, mocking the skinny punk before viciously smashing him right into the floor. The concrete shatters completely from the insane force. Battered and bleeding on the broken tiles, Kang just lies there, motionless. A camera drone buzzes in for a tight shot, but Han furiously swats it away. Snarling that it's not over, he looms over him. Han grabs Kang's throat, choking him out, claiming he earned this payback after taking those hits. He straight up declares he's going to cut off the kid's breathing permanently. Game over. But as his vision fades to black, a sudden memory of his dad flashes by. Boom. Using his last drop of strength, Kang headbutts him right in the face. Han is totally stunned and crashes down hard. Right on cue, a drone announces the match is officially over for the defeated player. Back on the monitors, Kim and the vice leader watch the ending. The vice leader is shocked Han went down that fast. Kim corrects him. Han didn't just lose. He literally died from that massive doping overdose. Mixing two different types of drugs, the survival rate is less than 0.05%. The exact second Han jammed that stamina needle into his own head, he was a dead man. The vice leader chuckles, saying Kim got super lucky since the guy basically took himself out. You and I might think it was pure luck too, right? But Kim disagrees. He notices Kang's body is completely abnormal. The vice leader brushes it off. This facility is packed with superhuman monsters, so having unbreakable bones isn't exactly front-page news. But Kim fires back. Doping can boost your muscles and organs, sure, but it cannot strengthen bones. He is absolutely convinced this kid is hiding some crazy secret power. Fair enough, the vice leader nods. Kang survived and moves on. So what is the plan for him next? Kim reveals that after passing the twisted test, Kang was rushed in for urgent medical healing. Next up, meeting the other Stage 2 survivors. Basically a room full of monsters with totally broken powers. Cut back to the training room. Kang sits there completely dazed. Guilt eats at him. Did he actually just kill a man? He desperately tries to shake it off. He only wanted to knock the guy outright. It was pure survival. If he hadn't fought back, Han would have buried him right there. His mind races back to his parents. He's their only hope. Suddenly, that exact same battle drone buzzes right up to his face. The mechanical voice kicks in, ordering all winning participants to head straight for the main hall. A staff member drops a heavy hint. Just follow the guide, and every single question he has will be answered. Oh, and one more thing, don't try anything stupid. Those tiny drones are packing lethal firepower. Kang gets to his feet and slowly follows the hovering drone down the dark corridors. What even is this place? He realizes it's an underground fortress with 0 exits. The frustration hits him like a truck. He just wishes he could make one quick phone call to his mom. He has to trust Kim's promise his family stays safe if he fights. But man, these battles are way worse than he ever imagined. The fighters here, absolute monsters. Even the basic street thugs are operating on a completely terrifying level. And now, the absolute worst of the worst are all gathering in one single room. The drone announces the main doors are open. Kang steps through the heavy gates, stepping right into a blinding flash of white light. You're gonna want to see this. Several drones hover inside, observing him. Let's dive right into this madness. The announcer declares all 124 players are present. The next game is officially starting. Kang takes a look around. The hall is packed with absolute beasts. Fighters of every shape and size, and every single one looks ridiculously strong. A system voice rings out. An opening summary is about to play on the main monitor. Kang stares at the crowd and only one thought crosses his mind. These guys are absolute monsters. They are on a totally different level than the kid he fought in round 1. His strategy: lay low, dodge any useless brawls, and just wait for the official matches to kick off. So much for laying low. A guy nearby immediately barks out, questioning how he got here and trying to pick a fight. Kang just ignores him silently, wishing he had changed out of his high school uniform before this started. But his thoughts are cut off by other fighters nearby. They start mocking him, whispering that he only won round 1 because his opponent overdosed on drugs. Another guy chimes in sarcastically, calling him completely clean. They figure the rich VIPs watching are just betting on the schoolboy to put on a totally pathetic show. One of the punks actually suggests they should have some fun with him. Then, someone drops some unwanted advice. Keep your head down, walk quietly, and whatever you do, avoid eye contact. Kang tries to brush it off and just walk away, but someone else blocks his path. A towering, dark-skinned fighter steps right in front of him, demanding answers before things start. Annoyed and wanting zero trouble, Kang is rapidly losing his patience. The giant literally threatens to crush him right then and there if he stays quiet. Now watch closely. Kang realizes that to survive a room full of absolute maniacs, he has to act just as crazy as they are. They are about to lunge at each other, but suddenly an arm shoots out right between them. The fight stops before it even begins. The towering fighter glares at the intruder, a brown-haired guy in glasses, probably in his 30s. Annoyed by the interruption, the giant threateningly grabs the newcomer's arm. Flashing a twisted grin, he asks the glasses guy exactly what he plans to do. Heavy auras explode from both men. But the guy in glasses just calmly says Kang is only a student. Then he effortlessly yanks his arm free, leaving the giant shocked. The tall guy scoffs, demanding to know if Four Eyes is seriously willing to fight over some random kid. Seeing things escalate fast, Kang decides he is done just standing there taking all these insults. He readies an attack, but before he can even move, he freezes cold. A drone drops down silently and instantly executes the dark-skinned man. A cold system voice echoes through the hall. The summary is starting. Any player causing damage outside of an official match gets executed on the spot. Kang is absolutely stunned. We all felt that chill, right? They kill without a single warning. Kang is seriously wondering how he will survive this hellhole. Right on cue, the monitor lights up. A weird bean-like mascot cheerfully congratulates everyone who managed to survive the preliminaries. The mascot casually drops that the doping test round was just a warm-up event. Moving forward, eliminations drop. But losing any round means you get permanently removed from the fighting ward. Game over. It clarifies that being removed means becoming completely physically incapable of fighting forever. Then comes the main event. The prize. A mind-blowing 10 billion won. That insane number instantly sends the entire crowd into a wild frenzy. Kang realizes something huge. With 10 billion won, his family could finally live a comfortable, perfectly normal life. The mascot continues quickly, reminding them that only one person gets the prize. To keep them hungry, anyone hitting the top 16 gets 5% of all VIP bets placed on them. The fighters are instantly hyped up again. The mascot explains that every player gets a personal camera to introduce themselves and basically build up a massive fan base. The VIPs will monitor these individual channels and place their bets accordingly. Simple math, more attention equals more cash. The mascot flat out tells them to keep the VIPs entertained if they want to score a massive payout. Briefing over. The system announces that participant rooms are ready, and everyone is free to pick absolutely any room they want. The fighters immediately start plotting. A few decide the best way to impress VIPs is by crushing the weak, so they plan to follow the schoolboy into his room. Kang worries that finding a safe room is going to be impossible, but the glasses guy who saved him earlier just smiles and says, "Relax." He offers to protect Kang until the real matches start. Kang is highly suspicious of the guy's motives, but accepts this temporary team-up. As they head out, Kang spots a face in the crowd that looks insanely familiar. Glasses guy pushes him to keep moving to secure a room, but Kang just cannot shake his suspicion. You and I both know it. Insulted for defending him, yet now he is eager to team up. Alright, stick with me as we dive right back into the madness. Kang still cannot figure this guy out, because here everyone is a deadly threat. The guy snaps Kang out of his daze, wondering why he is just staring. Meanwhile, in another area, two fighters notice a squad forming in a room. Their smartest move right now, grab a spot right next to Kang. They figure hanging near a hyped fighter means free camera time on the VIP channels, and more screen time means more rich gamblers placing heavy bets on them. Because yeah, massive muscleheads always pull in the big money. Cut to another room where three absolute giants are sizing each other up. Suddenly, some completely average-looking blonde kid in a jacket strolls right in, locking the door shut behind him. He casually smirks, saying it looks like a cozy room, totally catching the three meatheads off guard. They stand up completely ready to murder him, but the kid just coldly tells them to move out of his way. One giant laughs. The cameras are not even rolling yet, and this little punk actually had the guts to lock himself in with them. He charges, screaming that the kid has a death wish. But the blonde guy blocks the massive attack using only 2 fingers. A quick dodge and bam, a perfectly clean strike straight to the jaw. The giant drops to the floor, instantly knocked out cold. The other 2 brutes freeze, totally speechless at this insane power flex. The blonde kid just fixes his jacket and coolly asks who else wants to say hello. They both freeze up, absolutely terrified. He smirks and tells them to just keep their mouths shut. Now watch this guy closely because he is hunting a specific target. His name is Han Min-soo. Only 19 and already an absolute monster. Outside the arena, a slick car parks on a bridge. Inside, Mr. Kim drops some really bad news on the vice chief. The vice president just partnered up with Choi Min-chun again, the guy who won the last tournament. The vice chief is stressing out. How can he win when his entire future depends on a random high school kid? Kim calms him down. If Kang just survives to the top 16, he qualifies for the second phase, the round where extreme doping is totally legal. Since Kang already has bones 10 times harder than normal humans, his body can handle elite enhancements. Kim swears that with one more injection, Kang will turn into a record-smashing beast, but the vice chief is sweating. Keeping Kang loyal will not be easy, especially when jealous fighters and rich sponsors start gunning for him. Kim laughs it off. No need to panic yet. Why? Because the room Kang just walked into holds the 5 absolute least popular fighters in the whole tournament. The vice chief blinks, completely shocked by this update. Back inside the glasses, Guy is sighing. Pulling in viewers here is a total nightmare. You and I both know people only care about proven winners. So let us take a quick look at who else is stuck in this room. First up is Amanda Grouch. 23 mixes capoeira with jiu-jitsu. But honestly, her odds of surviving this are terribly low. Then we have Kim Min-ho, a 25-year-old boxer and literally the smallest guy in the entire bracket. And finally Minon. This weirdo is on the floor begging for help while desperately trying to lick his own elbow. Yeah, seriously. Suddenly, 5 camera drones buzz right into the room. Glasses guy panics. The drones are live, which means they need to do something crazy right now to grab those VIP eyeballs and get paid. So he instantly flexes his bicep hard, then face plants onto the floor. Boom, he starts busting out finger push-ups. His whole body floating midair as he aggressively screams out the reps. Kang just stares at him, totally weirded out by the whole thing. Then he looks over at Amanda. She drops into a stance, points one single finger at the ground, and pushes down with insane pressure. Even Kang looks genuinely shocked. She twists into this wild pose. And yep, she copies the glasses guy, but balances her entire body weight on exactly 1 finger. Total madness. Doing that with 0 warm-up, absolute monstrous physical strength. While those two keep flexing their power, Minho rolls his eyes. Raw strength is for fools. He crouches down, then explodes forward in a blinding, ridiculous burst of speed. Kang is completely stunned, wondering how a human moves that fast. And the whole time Minon is still rambling, fighting for his life to lick his elbow. Taking in all these absolute clowns, Kang thinks this is pure insanity. Seriously, what kind of loser would actually waste time watching these weirdos? Suddenly the system bell rings out. The first round matchups for all 124 fighters are officially locked in. Instantly, every single head in the room snaps toward the massive screen to find their target. Kang gets matched with a psycho-looking guy named Kai, rocking bright red hair and a massive X scar on his face. Meanwhile, Kim and the deputy chief study the brackets. The deputy chief frowns, asking if this Kai guy is actually dangerous. Kim nods, revealing Kai has not lost once since mastering a brutal style called Lethwei. Totally confused, the chief repeats the strange name. He has literally never heard of it. So Kim explains Lethwei is pretty close to Muay Thai in style, but way more brutal and damaging. The chief freezes. And you and I both know why Muay Thai is already a bone-crushing nightmare. To face something worse, Kang might be doomed. Stick with me, Lethwei is far worse. No gloves and headbutts are completely legal. Kim explains, these absolute beasts are always aiming straight for the face. Which is wild irony considering the human skull is our toughest bone by far. Still, major head damage is lethal, getting this brutal sport banned from official tournaments. But honestly, the scariest part of Lethwei is something else entirely. Hitting the spine and back of the neck is totally fine here. Those insane strikes can instantly kill a guy or leave him permanently paralyzed. Kim adds that Kai actually leveled up his brutal combat skills inside the fighting ward. Once he went pro, a shady organization snagged him, and he has been battling there ever since. The deputy asks about this sketchy group. Kim reveals regular ring matches just were not cutting it for Kai anymore. He began hunting down famous street brawlers, which is exactly how he caught the eye of his current controlling bosses. The anxious deputy then asks if Kang Mu actually has any shot at winning. Kim openly admits he is dying to find out too. A blunt answer that totally startles the deputy. He adds that Kang Mu and the Black Bear are actually the only two guys lacking any formal martial arts training. Meanwhile, back at the fighters' quarters, 28-year-old Kang Mu is finally waking up. He and the other guys slowly climb out of their capsule-shaped beds. Kang wonders how long he was knocked out instantly, noticing his body feels crazy light compared to before. You and I know this feeling, right? He suddenly realizes he has felt this exact strange way before. It is the absolute same rush he got after surviving his brutal hospital brawl against the mighty Black Bear. Realizing the truth, he smiles. He is definitely stronger now. Glasses guy chimes in, telling him not to act so shocked. He explains how Kang completely pushed his muscles to their absolute breaking point. And since they healed up without permanent damage, they basically leveled up his strength. The dude guesses Kang probably never pushed himself that hard until his insane clash with the Black Bear. He even suspects Kang got his usual speed back, casually wondering if our guy secretly chugged some kind of magical recovery doping agent. Flipping the script, Kang mentions he is super curious. He asks why the old guy risked his own neck to defend him earlier. The man awkwardly admits he stepped up simply because Kang reminds him of his kid. He sighs, saying he tries being a good dad, but his son hates him and is currently drowning in heavy debt with vicious loan sharks. Kang bluntly points out this guy is also stuck in a death game. He nods, claiming he joined to finally set things straight. Makes you think, right? Seeing Kang alone reminded him of his own struggling son, so he simply could not stand by and do absolutely nothing. Kang coldly tells the old man to stop wasting his time on him. He urges him to just survive and help his actual kid, because dying here makes his efforts completely worthless. The man looks totally stunned by Kang's harsh truth. Shaking it off, he jokingly tosses Kang into a headlock, begging him for just one more favor. Kang groans that this is not what he meant, but a furious shout suddenly ruins their bonding moment. They spin around and spot Minhan loudly screaming about why he is not fighting in the huge main arena. This clown proudly brags he can touch his own elbow with his tongue, like that actually makes him a legendary fighter. Ignoring that weird flex, Glasses Guy explains that only the super hyped matches with massive view counts make it to the main stage, but he points out something super sketchy. Besides Minhan and the redhead, everyone else in their squad is matched against the absolute biggest, most viewed monster fighters in the entire competition. Yet none of their hype matches are placed in the main arena. Kang casually asks if that is actually a good thing. The old guy, sweating now, asks what he could possibly mean. Kang smirks, claiming this is the absolute perfect chance to grab those wealthy VIPs' attention. This crazy ambitious flex leaves the older dude completely speechless and sweating. Suddenly, Minhan gets right into Kang's personal space. He barks that the main arena is not just about views. Kang steps back, totally startled. Minhan keeps ranting, explaining the main arena is where the top 16 fighters finally unleash their true world-shaking power. It is the ultimate stage to flex your real skills, and he is absolutely desperate to fight up there. While Minhan violently rants, Kang just stands there quietly, wishing he could talk to his mom right about now. The scene then cuts away, revealing 3 sleek cars parked deep inside what looks like a massive abandoned warehouse. Inside, the vice chief and Kim stand near a flaming barrel. The chief loudly complains, whining he would rather watch the main arena than freeze here. Since the ward is completely top secret, this hidden spot makes sense. So what do you and I expect next? Trust me, it gets totally insane. Stick with me here. Someone else is now watching Kang Sun Wu's channel. The vice chief instantly panics. Are they being spied on right now? Suddenly, a voice from behind mocks them for finally figuring it out. A young woman steps from the shadows. Meet Choi Songjin, the 19-year-old youngest daughter of the massive Hosung group. She claims she is only interested in one student, Kang Sun Wu. The vice chief scoffs hard. He reminds her she just got fired and now she is sneaking around in the dark like a rat. Kim just casually notes that the young lady seems pretty interested in their boss. Furious, the vice chief snaps at Kim, then completely insults Choi Seonjin, calling her nothing but a worthless, illegitimate daughter. Walking down the stairs, she calmly calls him out. So harsh, considering she dropped out of school to help her brothers run the company. Dripping with sarcasm, she actually thanks him for finding such a cool meeting spot. Almost grateful, he tells her to shut up and leave, but a sudden car pulling up interrupts him. A guiding drone hovers into view, shocking everyone. 2 guys in totally bizarre outfits step out. The drone announces an escort to the main arena. Later on, Choi Songjin finally takes off her blindfold. She finds herself in a fancy room with plush red chairs. Confused, she asks where she is. A guard explains the setup. She is overlooking the main arena from a super exclusive VVIP room. Taking in the epic view, she mutters that she finally made it to the big leagues. Meanwhile, Kim and the vice chief are in another room. The boss admits the arena is completely massive. An attendant drops the news. Once this fight ends, Kang Sun Wu is up next on the stage. Boom. A loud crash echoes from below, startling them all. A blonde fighter is choking out his opponent against the wall. Now watch closely. The vice chief stares in disbelief at the absolute monster down there. Kim identifies the crazy fighter as Han Min-soo, same exact age as Kang. The vice chief asks if he is another student. Kim clarifies Han dropped out, but get this, he used to go to the exact same school as Kang. Down below, Han finishes his opponent without breaking a sweat. The announcer calls it, naming Han Min-soo the clear winner. The very next battle is announced. Room 10 versus Room 3. Fighters are called down. Kang Sun Wu and his roommates step out into the massive arena together. One of them literally gasps. The insane scale of this new stage makes the last one look tiny. The system tells fighter Kim Min-ho to gear up. He gets ready, looking completely annoyed as he waits. Meanwhile, the guide tells all the fighters who already finished to leave the floor. Han calmly walks toward the exit right behind Min-ho. Up top, Kang and his buddy notice Min-ho looking super nervous. Suddenly, smack, a small rock hits the wall right beside Kang, making him completely jump. Where the hell did that come from? Kang asks. Below, Min-ho glances over, still rocking that lazy expression. But in his head, Min-ho knows exactly what happened. Han casually tilted his head and flicked that rock straight at Kang like an absolute sniper. You and I both see it. The guy is totally insane. His speed is practically unreactable. Right before passing by, Han stops and calls out. He asks, your teammate seems a little arrogant, don't you think? He is totally talking about Kang. Min-ho plays dumb, claiming he has zero idea what Han means. Han just glares. Min-ho is actually confused by this sudden intense hostility out of nowhere. Staring him down, Han mutters that nothing can be done then. Boom, Min-ho instantly drops into a fighting stance, backing away fast. Up in the stands, Kang's crew is completely lost. Why the sudden extreme escalation? Amanda corrects them. Not sudden at all. She explains Han can sense even the tiniest drop of killing intent from anyone. For a solid second, Han and Min-ho stay totally frozen in their standoff. Then just like that, Han relaxes. He walks toward the exit like absolutely nothing happened. Min-ho finally gets it. Han projected a killing aura so massive, it forced his body to react and imagine getting destroyed. This guy is on another level. A brutal mental image of the attack flashes through his mind. Totally shaken, Min-ho wonders if he really is this weak. How can he ever get revenge now? That is where we leave it. A voice from behind asks, where are you looking? Alright, stick with me. You and I are about to watch a wild showdown. 31-year-old wrestler Pius enters. Up top, his VIP sponsor hypes his unique fighting style. A guy next to the boss smirks. Wrestling isn't about throwing punches at all. The whole point is dragging you down to the mat. Once you're grounded, it's literally game over. They use nasty throws and brutal joint locks that make escaping impossible. That's exactly why top mixed martial artists always master wrestling basics. It's basically the ultimate foundation for hybrid fighting. If a wrestler can just tank those first few hits, they have endless ways to crush you. Looking at the insane size difference between massive Pius and Min-ho, the VIP's guy assumes this will be an absolute massacre. The announcer yells that we're ready to go. Kim Min-ho versus Pius begins right now. Min-ho drops into his stance, waiting for the big guy to strike. Pius just laughs. A boxer, he stares at Min-ho's bare knuckles. Never fought in the streets before, huh? Too bad, your first real underground fight has to be against me. Pius charges in like a bull, but Min-ho is ready. Bam, a massive counterpunch smashes right into his face. The giant wrestler stumbles backward, screaming in agony. He clutches his eye, which is completely wrecked from just that one single blow. Pius howls like a wounded animal. His left eye is completely blind now. Min-ho smirks, asking who's weak now. Panicking, Pius desperately needs a grab. Here's where you and I need to pay attention. Taking this to the ground is his absolute only chance to survive now. But Min-ho's speed is just way too insane to track. Before the big guy can even blink, Min-ho lands another brutal left hook. Then a crushing right. Every single strike hits like a truck. Swearing loudly, Pius lunges forward in a desperate attempt to grapple. But Min-ho dodges the clumsy attack with absolute ease. He's way too fast. Then, he unleashes an absolute hurricane of punches on the wrestler. As the brutal combo connects, Pius realizes his right eye is getting blurry too. All he sees is Min-ho's shadowy figure beating him to a pulp. Up in the stands, some guy thinks it's over. But Amanda stays calm, it's not. Everyone is shocked when she points out the truth. Pius is actually starting to block the hits. Somehow, the big guy is adapting to the speed. Min-ho senses the shift and immediately steps back. Out of nowhere, Pius lunges. He almost grabs him, forcing Min-ho into a desperate backward dodge. What is happening? Minho is attacking, but the wrestler's reflexes are suddenly god tier. Meanwhile, Pius is just trying to process his own body's changes. He suddenly realizes his good eye is actually seeing clearly again. A crazy electric feeling washes over him. Goosebumps everywhere. He focuses on the sensation and finally figures it out. He casually says everything is perfect now and literally closes his eyes. Minho stares at him, totally confused by this weird flex. Thinking the match is basically his, Minho throws a massive knockout punch to finish it. You and I thought it was over, right? Nope, eyes totally shut. Pius perfectly blocks the hit. The whole crowd goes dead silent. A terrifying chill runs down Minho's spine. If he gets grabbed right now, he is dead. He tries jumping back to make space but dodges straight into the wrestler's massive hand. It clamps onto him like a steel trap. Pius easily lifts Minho up and hits a devastating unnatural throw. He slams him into the ground so hard the actual arena floor shatters. Up in the crowd, someone yells out that it's a brutal hip throw. That rich VIP sponsor is totally clueless. How did getting beaten up make his fighter stronger? His assistant explains it. Losing his vision triggered a full sensory awakening. Down below, Minho is lying on the broken floor, wrecked. Pius stands over him. You should be thanking me, he says. Going blind unlocked his ultimate power, but the second he stops talking, wham! A brutal right hook slams into his jaw. Minho was on the ground, but he wasn't done. He just punched Pius directly in his one good eye. Screaming in pure agony, Pius staggers back into total darkness. The VIP laughs. Awakened senses don't matter if you literally have no eyes. While the giant rolls around crying, the assistant admits Minho put up one hell of a fight. But then he points out the craziest detail. Minho is unconscious. The VIP gasps. Did he really throw that last punch while knocked out? Down in the rubble, Minho isn't moving an inch. His fist is still raised from that epic final strike. Amanda watches completely stressed. She's praying Minho wakes up because Pius might still be able to hunt him down in the dark. Meanwhile, the blinded giant slowly stands back up, totally confused by the pitch-black void around him. He roars that he's completely blind, but then his mind floods with a new perception. Trust me, you and I gotta see what's next. Stick with me, let's dive into the madness. He can literally feel every single grain of sand and hear Min's heartbeat. The air pressure shifting against his skin, clear as day. He can even sense exactly what is happening right behind his back. Pure euphoria hits Pius as he realizes what just happened. Suddenly, he starts laughing like an absolute maniac. No system power-up. No problem. This natural enhancement is way better, giving him the chance to level up his own skills constantly. Flashing a twisted grin, Pius actually thanks Min for blinding him, promising to repay that favor by burying him permanently. Guided by these insane new senses, Pius launches himself right at the helpless kid. Min is knocked out cold, but his mind is screaming. He feels completely trapped inside a paralyzed body. A dark memory flashes by a body on the ground, and that desperate vow to hunt down the guy responsible. He remembers taking that fighting ward card, knowing it was his one and only ticket to finding his brother's killer. Deep down, Min begs his brother for help. Meanwhile, out in the real world, Pius is airborne, dropping a devastating elbow strike straight toward his head. Right before that brutal hit connects, Min's eyes snap wide open. Now pay attention to this next part. He wonders why everything is moving in slow motion, but then it hits him. The world isn't slow. He just became unbelievably fast. In the split second, Pius's elbow actually smashes the ground. Min has already vanished from the drop zone. The whole crowd gasps, totally stunned by this crazy reversal. Pushing up from his own massive crater, Pius demands to know how he escaped. Standing safely away, Min just smiles. He actually thanks Pius for waking up some crazy sensations he hadn't felt in forever. Now fully awake, Min feels like he is absolutely peaking. Pius starts getting seriously annoyed, realizing this kid isn't playing games anymore. His speed, even crazier than before. Min drops back into his stance, daring Pius to keep up. With both fighters locked in, Min announces, Stage 1 is starting. Pius braces himself hard, feeling the incoming strike. In a literal flash, Min closes the gap and throws a brutal punch, but Pius blocks it. That perfect defense completely stuns Min. That should be impossible. He fires off another nasty strike just for Pius to block it again. Announcing a level up, Min unleashes another lightning-fast attack, but Pius dodges this one entirely. Pius lunges straight in for a grab, but Min reads the move and dashes back. You and I are probably wondering how he tracks that speed right. Well, a sick look of ecstasy crosses Pius's face. He literally feels everything, from tiny muscle twitches to the rhythm of a heartbeat. For him, blind spots do not exist anymore. Min quickly realizes his current speed just won't cut it. Time for a massive risk. Crouching down, he pools all his strength, knowing only his absolute max speed can actually do damage here. He explodes forward like an absolute missile. Closing the gap, he gets ready to unleash his ultimate move, the light straight. But right as he goes for the kill, a terrifying chill shoots down his spine. Boom, before he even reacts, Pius punches him right in the face while grabbing his arm. The crushing impact sends the kid slamming into the dirt. Pius stares down at him, genuinely surprised, wondering why. One hit to the face put Min down, but somehow he forces himself back up, burning through every last drop of his strength. Completely dazed, he wonders how he survived that insane hit. Pius calmly tells him that if he had finished his attack, he would have totally lost by falling. Min accidentally saved his own life. Up in the stands, a watcher notices speed alone won't win this, and Min is definitely feeling that heavy damage now. But that thought instantly vanishes when something down in the arena makes him sweat. Min is now moving so insanely fast, he is literally creating 3 perfect afterimages at once. The observer realizes Min isn't using any performance enhancers. This is pure raw footwork. Is Min holding back saving that crazy speed drug for one final critical moment? While Min keeps projecting these wild clones with blinding speed, the guy in the stands seriously questions this desperate strategy. Suddenly, one afterimage lunges straight in with a punch. The observer screams at him to stop thinking it is a fatal mistake, but to everyone's absolute shock, the punch hits Pius squarely. Pius lunges in for a vicious counterattack, but Min easily dodges the grab. Completely stunned, Pius just watches Min circle him at blinding speeds. He is helpless, unable to land a single hit on this crazy blur. But then he notices Min is finally showing signs of pure exhaustion. He smirks, confident the kid will burn out soon. So, what do you and I make of this? Once he tires out, is it really game over? But before he can even blink, another brutal punch smashes right into his jaw. Alright, let's dive in. Kang watches in pure disbelief as Min unloads an absolute hurricane of high-speed punches. It is totally relentless. Kang is just confused. Why use so many fake-outs when the direct hits are already working so well? Amanda breaks it down. Those fakes are his entire strategy. As Min keeps landing heavy hits, she explains that Paz completely lost his ability to track the movements. Because of that, Paz is naturally ignoring the fakes, which is exactly why the real hits keep connecting. Kang thinks it is just a cheap trick, but Amanda disagrees. It is way deeper than that. Kim Minho is actually hacking multiple senses all at once. She explains that, sure, sensory doping boosts your reaction time, but processing fakes at Min's level takes next-tier training. The insane volume and raw speed of his attacks. They are meant to completely overload the brain into pure chaos. Min is literally forcing a total mental breakdown on his opponent. Amanda admits she is honestly terrified by how fast Min adapted once Paz started reading him. Down there, Min keeps up his fluid combo, just absolutely destroying Paz's face. Meanwhile, up in the VIP suite, one spectator is losing his mind. He screams, "Is Paz really going to lose to some kid?" But his guard tells him to chill and watch Paz's face. That is not the face of a loser. It is pure joy, like he actually loves taking this brutal beating. Suddenly, with one lightning-fast motion, Paz shoots his hand out and instantly grabs Min. Smiling like a psycho, he claims victory, landing a fatal blow. Caught in that iron grip, Min looks completely helpless. Paz finishes the combo by brutally smashing Min's head straight into the floor with devastating force. Now watch closely. The whole crowd goes dead, silent, and even the VIPs are shocked. But then, something entirely impossible happens. The body on the ground just fades into thin air. Paz stares completely confused. He swore he hit that kid. A second later, the real Min appears right in front of him, standing there completely unharmed. Kang is absolutely baffled up in the stands. How did he escape? Amanda drops the answer. All those punches Min landed earlier, they were not just physical, they literally scrambled Paz's brain. Kang is blown away. She explains Min was never hitting at random. He specifically targeted the guy's skull. When your head takes a direct hit like that, your brain rattles, needing a solid second to reset. In that tiny window, all your perception and senses just completely glitch out. You and I saw that, right? Min used that lag to fake a strike. Kang is impressed, wondering if this kid is already stronger than him. Down in the arena, Min just watches. Paz is still frozen in his final attack pose. The dazed giant cannot believe it. How does a kid with 0 performance enhancers have better senses than him? He just mutters about how totally unfair this is. Finally, Paz just completely collapses. He is utterly defeated. Min is the last one standing here. A guide drone quickly hovers over the massive fighter, scanning him before officially declaring Kim Minho the winner by total knockout. Up top, the old man goes absolutely wild for the kid's victory, while the VIP who bet on Paz is basically shaking with pure rage. The adrenaline finally drops, and Min hits his knees, totally exhausted. He looks up, dedicating this win to his brother. In another VIP suite, a young woman tells her bodyguard that this match was on a completely different level. She finally gets why the old man feels such a thrill from this. But her guard just brushes it off. Typical ordinary fight for this place. He says this entire arena is a playground for the elite to unleash their darkest desires. Money and power are the only rules. Here, even death has zero consequences. Anything goes. Even heavy hallucinogens get straight past the security without a second look. It is an absolute paradise for people craving things they cannot buy outside. The guard adds that this is why VIPs dump massive cash into this arena. He warns that the second director trying to aggressively seize control is a huge problem. Handpicking top fighters proves he knows just how valuable this place really is. The young woman actually finds his ruthless ambition pretty impressive. Now his bold moves make perfect sense. Back with Kang, his face just hardens with pure resolve. He vows this ends next round. Trust me, you will want to see this. Elsewhere, someone watches Min's replay. An assistant walks up calling him director. All 16 VIPs. They have officially arrived. Alright, stick with me here. That heavily bandaged guy checks the attendance, demanding an update on their sketchy experiment. Glasses guy reports in. Stage 2 of their sensory doping. It hit, but the effects randomly dropped by 20%, plus 0 regeneration from any subject. The bandaged boss just glares. Was the whole test a total failure? The researcher shakes his head. Nope. The absolute peak of this crazy doping is just starting to show up. Then he drops a bombshell. For the first time ever, one subject completely shrugged off the drug. Total immunity. And this weird anomaly, it might unlock actual regeneration. Bandage guy is hooked now. Skin reinforcement. He demands to know if they can start using that right away. Oh, they will. Very soon. Because their next test dummy is a massive red-haired beast named Kai stepping into the ring right now. Back to Kang and the old man just waiting for his epic match to kick off. The old-timer drops some last-minute advice. Basically, if things get rough, just tap out and survive. Kang shuts that down instantly. Giving up. Not an option. The old guy is mind-blown. How is he this calm, zero sweat? Kang just shrugs. He genuinely isn't nervous, leaving his crew totally speechless. Right on cue, a guide drone floats right over. The robot voice chimes in. It is officially Kang's turn. He just calmly strolls straight toward that door. Now watch closely, because you and I need to realize this kid literally cannot feel fear. He has survived way too many near-death setups. All the crying and shaking, that burned out a long time ago. Now, just numb. Years passed and that immunity became absolute. Bullenji's trying to mock him, just got a blank dead stare. Even getting beaten up, his face didn't change at all. Eventually those bullies got terrified of him instead. Now throwing fists is his only tool left to protect the family he actually cares about. Sizing up Kai, he knows this redhead is totally different. The two fighters finally square up inside the ring. Up top, the vice director smirks to his glasses-wearing buddy. The real show is starting. He wonders aloud what kind of juice is Kai on. Min adjusts his glasses. First time he's ever seen actual skin reinforcement doping. The director scoffs. How does thick skin win a fight? Min warns him it is stupidly overpowered. Kai's last opponent literally got his muscles completely shredded to pieces. Right now, Kai's skin is basically armor. Too thick to take damage from normal human strength. And that is stacked on top of his already freakish muscles. The companion points out that the VIPs are dumping heavy cash on Kai. Min sighs. Everyone is backing the roided-up guy while Kang is fighting clean. One look at the betting board makes it painfully obvious. You see that too, right? Not a single cent on Kang. But wait, Min freezes. Someone just dropped a nuke on the board. A massive 1 billion cash bet straight on Kang. The vice director drops his jaw, demanding to know who did it. Boom, cut to that mysterious VIP lady. She made the crazy bet. Her bodyguard thinks she's lost it, but she just smirks. High risk equals massive returns. She's following pure gut feeling. Taking massive risks like this is the only way you break into the real big leagues. Will it be an epic fail or a legendary win? Meanwhile, down in the dirt, Kang and Kai stare off. The drone buzzes right between them. Ding, ding, the match officially starts. Kang drops instantly into a combat stance fully locked in. But wait, Kai hasn't even twitched. He is just standing there super casually. Kang yells out, "Is this guy even going to fight?" Kai just laughs. Real warriors don't hit weaklings. He strolls over, claiming he'll only use 10% power, and warns Kang not to get up. No warning at all. Bam, a brutal kick straight into his gut. The raw force launches Kang, literally flying straight across the entire arena floor. Up top, both guys are completely floored by Kai's insane power. Kang is just on his knees, groaning. The director leans in. Is it really over? One single strike, and done. Another fan yells they should just call the match. But a blonde guy in the crowd smirks. He sees it differently. He points out Kang isn't screaming in pain at all, just reacting to the impact. He bets Kai won't follow up. Why? He just wanted to flex and scare the kid, not end him. Trust me, you and I are about to learn this isn't about mercy at all. It is just pure absolute arrogance. Stick with me here. If a total pro like Kai went all out against a high school kid, his pride would be completely shattered. So his master plan, just knock Kang out cold and wrap this whole thing up lightning fast. Down in the dirt, Kai tells the kid to stop playing victim. Faking an injury isn't going to magically save him now. He gives Kang one final chance to surrender. But Kang just cuts him off, telling him to shut up and fight, completely throwing Kai off balance. Kang literally keeps mocking him, asking if he gets a trophy for running his mouth. Kai goes dead silent. Then he snaps, promising to end this right now by crushing the kid with one massively overpowered strike. Winding up his attack, Kai dares the kid to stop him. He blitzes forward, throwing a devastating kick. But shocker, Kang flawlessly blocks it, matching the impact with an absolutely brutal kick of his own. The vice director, Kang's buddies, and the girl in the stands are completely floored by this crazy power. Kang drops into this wildly weird stance, gearing up to strike. Seeing red, Kai screams at him to shut up and charges, but Kang literally twists his body like a pretzel, dodging effortlessly. Kai spots Kang's neck bent at this freaky angle, realizing that dodge made zero physical sense. Before he can even blink, Kang brings his hand crashing down, landing a massive chop directly on top of Kai's skull. Now pay attention here. The crowd is absolutely losing it over Kang's strength. Kai glares back, completely enraged, growling that his one chance is officially gone. Kang just smirks, firing back that a real pro shouldn't be kneeling in the dirt before some average student. That heavy strike was so crushing that Kai was literally smashed into the ground, completely immobilized. Kang rubs salt in the wound, laughing that he didn't even need a fist against someone so pathetic. Scrambling up, Kai violently grabs the kid by the shoulders, declaring he has absolutely no choice but to get serious. Kang struggles hard, but this guy's grip is literally like iron clamps. Kai pulls back for a monstrous headbutt, bragging, "This is only 50% power." Kang just drops a single curse word before Kai's forehead smashes right into his face. The sick impact sends Kang stumbling back, totally seeing stars. But wait, as Kang drops, Kai suddenly grabs his own head. He's screaming in pain, wondering if he somehow messed up his own attack. In that tiny opening, Kang snaps back, launching into the air and drop-kicking Kai squarely in the face. The pro goes flying backward, absolutely mind-blown. How did this kid eat that massive headbutt without a single scratch? Kang sticks the landing perfectly, shaking off that brutal hit. But before he even breathes, Kai teleports right in front of him, charging up a vicious uppercut. Boom, the hit connects, tearing straight through Kang's shirt and skin. A spectator gasps, but the blonde dude next to him stays icy cold. It's not over yet. Zero hesitation here. Kai follows right up, smashing a lethal knee deep into Kang's stomach. The raw force launches Kang skyward, blood literally spraying everywhere. Hanging helpless in midair, there's no way he can block Kai's next strike. A lethal elbow aimed straight at his neck. The spectator screams a warning, knowing a direct hit to the spine is game over. Smash. That elbow drops like a meteor, slamming Kang face first into the dirt. The insane combo leaves him dead silent as Kai coldly watches him fall. "You saw that too, right?" Glasses guy mutters, "This is way too savage for just a spar." The blonde guy totally agrees, calling this whole situation absolutely ridiculous. Asked why, he just stares intensely at the ring, trying to figure out who Kang Sun Wu actually is. Meanwhile, Kai replays that final hit. He realizes right before impact, Kang purposely slammed his own head into the ground. Was it pure madness or just a wild, desperate panic move? Either way, Kai figures nobody survives that unless their skull is made of literal titanium. But wait, against all odds, Kang twitches. He actually pushes himself up, totally shocking the entire crowd with this crazy recovery. Wobbling on his feet, he miraculously stands tall, while the guy with glasses just stares completely stunned, asking what on earth is happening. The blonde guy chimes in, warning him to never mistake Kang for some fragile kid. He admits that even knowing nothing about him, something about Kang's aura just gives him absolute chills. Down in the dirt, Kang shifts back into a fighting stance, eyes locked dead on his opponent. Kai just scoffs, telling the kid not to push it. He says give up if you want to live, but Kang cuts him off completely, done with the trash talk. He dares Kai to step up, promising to test if his body is as tough as his mouth. Kai isn't buying it, telling him again to just quit. "Trust me, you're going to want to see how this finishes. You and I are about to watch pure disrespect." Kai just spreads his arms wide, daring Kang to hit him without even defending. Kang knows he is being looked down on, but he also catches this crazy twisted rage buried in his opponent's eyes. Meanwhile, Kai flashes back. Just to reach the absolute top, he risked his own life, completely crushing every single person who dared to stand in his way. But that was never enough for him. He firmly believed only real gritty life or death battles could forge him into an actual warrior. Chasing that deadly thrill, he actively hunted down literal assassins and mobsters. He would stroll right into enemy bases, wiping out absolutely everyone inside, and always walking out as the only one left breathing. After surviving that madness, he cannot believe he is actually expected to go all out against some random student. Kang winds up and Kai throws one final taunt. He tells him to strike with everything he has because it literally will not matter at all. Answering back, Kang throws an insanely heavy punch that slams right into Kai's gut. The audience gasps at the pure shockwave. But Kai, he does not even flinch. He just smirks, reminding the kid that he warned him. He is miles above a normal student. But then a sudden flash of real shock crosses Kai's face. Watch closely here. Kang casually calls out another punch and instantly sinks a brutal left hook, catching this absolute monster completely off guard. Rattled Kai barely processes it before Kang launches a lethal head kick. But the redhead's insane reflexes kick in and he just manages to block it. He fires back a counterpunch instantly, yelling at the kid, demanding to know what he thinks he is doing. Kang throws his whole body backward to barely dodge the strike. It only scrapes his chest. But man, even that light graze packs enough raw power to rip right through his shirt and flesh. Stunned, he could not fully dodge. Kang knows he needs breathing room right now. He immediately jumps back, putting some serious distance between them. Heavy silence drops as the two glare at each other. Kai finally breaks it, asking how many more free hits the kid needs before he just surrenders. Kang just flashes a cocky smirk. Annoyed, Kai demands to know if he is seriously laughing. Kang simply asks if he forgot their little chat. Then he rips off his ruined shirt, exposing an absolutely shredded, ridiculously muscular build. The crowd loses it. They cannot fathom how a teenager could be built like a literal tank. Kang stares him down. Did I not say I would not defend myself? Kai nods, confirming those exact words. Kai finally admits this kid is no easy victim, but he strictly warns him to remember choosing to fight was his own funeral. While speaking, his fist erupts in a crackling blue aura, and seeing that raw energy, Kang just breaks into an absolutely massive, ecstatic grin. Kai lets that blue energy explode, flaring wildly around his whole body. He officially declares that he is now fighting at 100%. You and I are probably thinking like the guy in glasses, has Kang totally lost his mind, smiling at a literal monster. The woman beside him disagrees. He is not crazy, he is just hyped. The man simply cannot wrap his head around it. He honestly believes Kang should have forfeited the second he realized what an absolute beast he was up against. She points out something huge. This is likely the first time Kang has ever faced a genuinely overpowered opponent who can actually challenge him. He argues no sane person gets excited facing death. But she just smiles, saying she knows that exact adrenaline rush all too well. She flashes back to men underestimating her in fights, only to watch their smug faces totally drop into panic as she forced them to go all out. In those exact moments, she admits her heart would absolutely ignite with pure fulfillment. Missing the vibe completely, the glasses guy awkwardly tells her to chill out, saying this is really not the time for a backstory. But the blonde guy sitting nearby jumps in, agreeing that he completely gets that feeling too. He remembers being young and weak, totally ignored by absolutely everyone. The only time he felt truly alive was landing a full power punch and finally seeing real respect flash in his opponent's eyes. Hearing that it finally clicks for the man, Kang is without a single doubt a true fighter. Down in the ring, Kang drops into his stance. The warm-up is over. The two absolute beasts lock eyes, the arena air turning completely heavy with killer tension. Flashing a slight smirk, Kang calls dibs on the first move and launches himself straight at Kai. He swings hard, but the redhead just blocks it with his forearm, completely absorbing that insane impact like it was nothing. Up above the glasses, Guy hears that deafening boom. He realizes that even a monster like Kai has to be shocked by that kind of raw physical power. Kang, though, he is annoyed. He realizes hitting this guy literally feels like punching solid concrete. Kai preps his right fist, daring Kang to block this incoming attack. He throws a crushing blow. Kang barely guards with his arm, but the pure, unadulterated force still launches him flying backward onto the hard ground. He spits blood. Trust me, we know this battle just started. Alright, stick with me. You and I are watching an impact that shook the arena. A power display totally beyond comparison. With Kang pinned down, Kai launches a brutal knee strike straight at his head. The spectator watches in pure horror, but bam, the knee just shatters the solid ground. Using absolutely lightning-fast speed and reflexes, Kang had managed to roll entirely out of the way just in time. The man is completely stunned, but the blonde calmly corrects him. She points out that Kang actually did not dodge the entire attack. His back is totally torn up. As Kang stumbles to his feet, a really strange sensation washes over him. He suddenly realizes, with total shock, that he is feeling raw fear. He cannot believe a guy like Kai makes him feel this. The redhead smirks, taunting him. He says it is time for Kang to admit Kai is the one opponent he can never defeat. But Kang scoffs at that, firing back that Kai is not the only one treated like a total monster. He yells that anything Kai can do, he can do too. Fueled by adrenaline, Kang throws a massive uppercut, but Kai casually dodges. As he drops back down, Kang tries to chain another attack, but it fails to connect entirely. That failed move leaves him totally wide open, and worry flashes across his face. A wicked grin lights up Kai's face. His turn now. Now watch closely with me. The guy with glasses realizes with pure dread that Kai is prepping his headbutt again. Bracing for the brutal impact, Kang repeats his mantra. Anything Kai can do, he can. The two fighters charge and slam head-to-head with a sickening crack. In this brutal clash, Kai is definitely the stronger beast. The sheer force of the terrifying blow sends Kang staggering back, dropping him to his knees. Trembling and barely upright, Kai looms directly over him. He declares the fight over, totally trashing Kang's moves as clumsy, unskilled brute force. But down on the ground, a low chuckle escapes Kang. It quickly grows into a chilling, totally unhinged laugh. The spectator is completely mind-blown, questioning if he is actually laughing. Kai coldly warns him to end it or he will. Yet staring down at the bleeding boy, his cocky dominance completely shifts into a look of genuine intrigue. This insanely heavy, strange aura starts radiating from Kang. Kai has never seen anything like it. The redhead wonders what this oppressive atmosphere is actually noticing, that even the pooled blood is evaporating right around the kid. Pure, grim determination locks onto Kang's face. He admits he always avoided fights simply because everyone treated him like a monster. But down here in the dirt, he can finally unleash all the absolute madness he kept totally bottled up. That crazy laughter, he confesses he just cannot control it anymore. As Kai moves in for a deadly finishing kick, Kang screams that he is done, holding back his raw urge to fight. Sensing the lethal strike, he pushes off the floor in this weird motion, launching straight up to dodge the kick completely. Before Kai can even process what happened, Kang locks his head in a vice-like death grip. The redhead is totally stunned by the speed. You and I both know what happens next. Kang lands a totally devastating headbutt, leaving Kai completely dazed. While still floating midair, Kang violently twists his body, dropping right behind the stunned fighter. He stomps both feet into Kai's back, smashing him face first into the concrete. Pushing up, Kai mutters, "Those movements are not human." A split second later, he looks up, finding Kang's heavy fist hovering mere inches from his face. Surging with crazy adrenaline, Kai catches the punch just in time. But Kang smirks, turning that block straight to his own advantage. He yanks the redhead forward and violently buries a fist deep into his gut. A second, even heavier blow blasts Kai, flying straight backwards across the arena. The impact shatters the ground beneath him. Stunned, Kai digs his heels in, finally skidding to a dead stop. Gasping for air, Kai starts wondering what kind of insane drug Kang took to have this endless stamina. Kang lunges fast with another heavy left hook, but Kai blocks it perfectly. As Kai counters, Kang vanishes, reappearing behind him in an absolute blur of motion. Before Kai can spin around, Kang unleashes a relentless flurry of heavy strikes against his back and sides. Completely overwhelmed, Kai realizes this is insane. With zero time to defend, he eats another brutal, jaw-breaking punch straight to the face. The raw power of the hit breaks his stance. The redhead gets launched one final time, crashing into the dirt without even trying to break his fall. A totally stunned, heavy silence washes over the entire crowd as they process this unbelievable turnaround. Down in the arena, Kai lies perfectly motionless, looking totally defeated. His body is covered in blood. Up in the VIP section, the glasses guy loudly wonders if Kai is dead, but the woman beside him steps in. She points out the blood is not from Kai. It is from Kang's own shredded fists. Sprawled on the concrete, Kai feels this weird intoxication, like every single muscle in his body is tearing apart. Despite immense pain, he slowly stands. The VIP woman asks why he is getting up. "Trust me, you and I are watching true monsters. Alright, stick with me here." Her bodyguard explains the drug Kai took turns his skin into literal armor. That is why Kang's brutal hits are barely scratching him. How is he supposed to win? She asks. Down in the ring, Kai secretly admits he has never felt pain quite like this. But looking at Kang, he sees the kid can barely keep his eyes open. He has to be running on empty too. Deciding to end it by snapping Kang's legs, Kai lunges in. But shock hits him. His battered opponent actually reacts to his insane speed. Kang throws a wild, desperate punch, but Kai easily deflects it with his forearm. The hit bounces off completely harmlessly. Kang actually looks panicked. Seeing a perfect opening, Kai yells out that he is ending this right now. They both charge in, but Kai suddenly feels completely weak. His fists are totally numb. Suddenly he gets it. Kang's wild strategy makes sense. The kid purposely took hits to stop Kai's skin from hardening. A violent tremor shakes Kai's entire body. He has absolutely no idea why. His strength is rapidly draining. Dragging this out is pointless. Spotting a tiny opening, Kai channels all his training into one massive fight-ending low kick. Boom. The kick lands perfectly on Kang's leg before he can even blink. The brutal impact dazes him, nearly knocking him out cold. Thinking Kang's legs are totally finished, Kai moves in for another crushing career-ending blow. But to Kai's absolute shock, Kang actually fires back with his own kick, clashing shin to shin in midair. The force is absolutely devastating. A massive bloody gash rips right open across Kang's leg. Up in the stands, someone hears that sickening crack. They are absolutely sure Kang's leg is completely shattered. Kang wobbles into a weird stance, staring at his own mangled leg. The muscles are totally shredded, making it useless. Now watch closely, this is where everything flips. Seeing Kang trapped, Kai preps a deadly torso kick, screaming that it is finally over. The crowd screams in panic. But as Kai steps up for the final kill, his own leg suddenly explodes underneath him. Completely speechless, he crashes down hard. His own body just gives out entirely. Trying to catch his fall, his arm snaps too. Kai screams in agony, wondering if this is a nightmare. He took dope to harden his bones, but that is exactly what Kang was targeting from the very start. Kai lies there, completely broken and totally defeated. The whole arena falls dead silent at this insane plot twist. The vice director watches in pure horror, but that young girl just smiles, absolutely loving Kang's wild victory. With Kai completely destroyed, Kang Wu is the last man standing. The vice director is totally mind-blown. He demands to know what just happened. The guy explains that Kai's armored skin blocked scratches, sure. But all that brutal impact force, it went straight inward. Outside, he looked totally fine. Inside, his bones were taking hits like a massive sledgehammer was smashing them. The doping numbed his pain, letting him push past normal human limits. Now Kai's arms and legs are literally shattered into pieces. A referee drone hovers over the wreckage. It officially announces Kai is down, making Kang Sun Wu the undisputed winner. Hearing that final call, Kang unleashes a massive, triumphant roar. We both saw that damage. The crowd cannot believe it either, asking out loud if Kang is a literal zombie. That sketchy blonde guy mutters that Kang is hiding a major secret. When secured, Kang finally just collapses, totally running on empty. Lying there, Kang thinks of his mom silently begging her to hold on just a little bit longer. Meanwhile, that bandaged guy asks the lead scientist, "Are you absolutely sure Kang was not using any wild combat drugs?" The scientist calmly replies that after round 1, Kang's body tested 100% clean on every single doping check. Not buying it, the bandaged guy demands everything on the kid's past. He orders a full investigation, starting right with his family. Cut to the hospital. Kang's mom is sitting quietly right next to his father's hospital bed. The door suddenly slides open. She quickly tells the uninvited guests that this is a really bad time. She freezes, seeing 2 men in dark suits. Back at the arena, medics load our exhausted hero onto a stretcher. His body is completely wrecked from that absolute bloodbath. The vice director just watches him leave. Can Kang even survive the next round like this? Well, the scientist reveals he has a twisted plan. During the upcoming physical exam, he wants to use the kid as a lab rat to test a top-secret experimental doping agent. If the kid's body does not break from it, he will become their absolute strongest weapon for victory. The vice director pushes back. Arena rules clearly state they cannot force a fighter to take drugs if they refuse. Holding a syringe, he smirks. So, what do you make of this? Trust me, Kang's real nightmare is just getting started. Alright, stick with me here. If he passes, everything goes to plan. But the vice director asks what if he fails? The scientist goes ice cold. His answer, a failed test, means Kang is completely useless to them. They would just need a backup. Later in Kang Sun Wu's recovery room, a medical capsule hums in the background. Some guy in a hazmat suit walks up holding a syringe, slowly opening the pod where Kang is out cold. Meanwhile, up in the VIP room, the vice director mentions Kang just needs 1 win for the top 16. He points out that one top spot depends purely on betting volume. And honestly, he highly doubts anyone would drop massive cash on a wrecked fighter like Kang. But scientist Kim brings up a wild point. Kang won 2 matches with 0 doping, something literally nobody has ever done. That crazy fact alone is going to hook those rich VIPs. If he gets another win, the money will pour in. Still, Kim says winning the whole thing clean is basically impossible. So their main goal, making sure Kang can handle the juice. The vice director nods. He knows Kang is desperate enough to save his parents that he would definitely take the drugs. Now watch closely. Kim coldly states that if his body rejects the formula, they will toss him out next match. He even adds that if things go south, they already set up security and medical backup for his poor parents. Feeling a bit better, the vice director mutters that Kang is bound to hear about his folks eventually anyway. Kim then checks his watch. Someone is coming right now with Kang's latest doping test results. This makes the vice director wonder aloud. How does a basic fighting ward secretary pull off this much shady stuff? Kim straight up admits he has 0 authority. The guy is literally risking his own neck running this secret operation. Naturally curious, the boss asks why take the gamble. Kim spills his real goal. He wants to help the director kick out the elder and take total control of Hashin. But his personal obsession, finding the absolute strongest humans born from these brutal arena fights. A dream he would happily die for. Flashing a completely psychotic grin, he adds that he honestly does not care who else has to die for it. The vice director just smirks. He really respects that unhinged lunatic energy. Suddenly the door slides open. And look who it is, the exact same hazmat suit guy from Kang's room earlier. Kim instantly demands the doping results. The henchman drops a bomb. There was absolutely zero reaction in his system. He asks if Kang's body just cannot handle the drugs, and Kim nods. Hearing this, the vice director absolutely loses his mind. He snaps, ordering his goons to wipe all traces of Kang and immediately cut off his family's lifeline. Actually, wait, he corrects himself. It would be way faster to just execute his parents right now. Meanwhile, our boy Kang is completely out cold, still trying to heal from that absolute brutal beatdown. Let's pause the corporate drama for a second. Down in the main hall, the winners have grouped up. The blonde fighter notices that since everyone is here, all 62 victors are set. The guy with the glasses sporting that totally grotesque giant arm points out Kang must still be injured since he is missing. Amanda, the female fighter, chimes in. She says that is actually great because the next round cannot start until everyone is finally present. Bending and stretching with insane flexibility, she adds that they should just use this free time to relax. The blonde dude just stares totally mind-blown by her crazy flexibility. Amanda casually mentions that Kang looked completely drained from the very first match. The blonde guy nods, noting that surviving this arena pretty much guarantees you are taking some massive damage. But then he points out something wild. Both Amanda and the glasses guy hit the top 62 without taking a single scratch. He calls out Park Woo-shin by name, the guy with the glasses. We get a quick flashback showing how his monstrous right arm completely blindsided his poor opponent in the ring. Park pushes his glasses up, admitting even he had no clue his arm could mutate like that. Then Park flips the spotlight to Amanda, mentioning how she easily wiped the floor with her opponent hands-free. He swears the fight ended so incredibly fast it honestly felt like a glitch. Min, the blonde fighter, jumps in, confessing he is still totally clueless about her win. He straight up asks her to explain her secret move. She smirks coldly. Does he really want her hidden techniques? She reminds the guy they might have to kill each other later on. The grim reality slaps Min right in the face and he immediately shuts up. Right on cue, Min-hoon pops up, whining about being ignored. He starts bragging about his epic win, acting just as completely unhinged as he always does. But before he can keep yapping, a massive screen suddenly flashes on. You and I both know, this is where it gets crazy. The organizer congratulates the 62 survivors, announcing they just need one more win. Stick with me here, winning this round means top 31. Then, the top 16 aren't decided by brawling, but by VIP bets. And get this, survivors pocket 5% of the total cash thrown their way. Hearing about that massive prize pool, the crowd completely loses their minds. The host makes it clear though. Want to get rich, prove your raw strength in the next fight. He also tells them not to sweat any injuries. This place is basically a top-tier hospital. Matchups are dropping next. Meanwhile, at Hashin Group HQ, the vice director asks if they've found backup fighters besides Kang. The agent nods. They absolutely have. Kim checks a screen calling one specific fighter the ultimate pick. Curious, the boss asks who. Bam, the screen flashes the profile of Kang's upcoming opponent. Back in recovery, Kang shoots up from his capsule screaming for his mom. He stares down. His scars are totally gone. Not a dream, he realizes. Those voices were real. Now watch carefully. Kang remembers that sick report. If his test came up clean, his parents get wiped out. Pure panic sets in. He knows he needs to break out of there right now. Meanwhile, the fight ward director grills the guy in front of him. You ran Kang's doping test right. Sweating, the scientist nods. But he adds that he found something totally crazy. Pushed for details, the scientist drops a bombshell. Kang's bone density, 10 times higher than a normal human. The director freezes. That is insane, he whispers. But wait, there is more. His healing factor is basically pure regeneration. The director is too shell-shocked to even talk. This random student might actually be the missing link to unlocking human regeneration. He is truly special, the director mutters, asking about his parents' safety. The scientist awkwardly apologizes. Turns out someone else beat his team to the punch. Back in his room, Kang is pacing like crazy. He jumps to his feet. If he stays trapped here, his family is as good as dead. Angry and desperate, he checks the room. No exits, just a vent. He rips the door open to check the hall, but someone blocks his path. We both recognize her, right? You look better, the girl smiles. She introduces herself as Cha Sun-jin, that same VIP. Panicking, Kang orders her out of his way. She coolly tells him to drop the search for his parents. Instant red flag. They are with me, she reveals. Kang is absolutely floored by this. Scene shifts back to Hashin HQ. The vice director and Kim are chilling inside Cha Sun-jin's private office. The boss asks if Kang's parents have already been dealt with. Kim confirms they vanished without a trace. He guesses the fight ward struck first to bury a future problem. The boss smirks, totally pleased. So I got my way without doing a single thing, he chuckles, thrilled he dodged all the dirty work. Then he checks on the prep for the next fighter. Kim says, relax. The VIPs literally begged for this matchup and even gave them the green light to tweak tournament rules. Plus, those rich VIPs are dying to see two absolute monsters tear each other apart. He adds that normal folks shouldn't visit the dangerous fight ward. Meanwhile, back with our duo, Kang glares daggers at her. What did you do to them? He barks. She slaps a hand over his mouth, whispering to stay quiet if he wants them alive. Running away solves literally zero of your problems, she explains. But an angry Kang demands to know what she means. She drops the truth. Her old boss, Cha Yeon-woo, wants all ties to Kang destroyed and ordered his parents taken out. Making things even worse, those loan sharks Kang wrecked are also out for blood. She points out she ditched her bodyguards just for this private chat. Listen close, she insists she wants his parents safe too. Totally fed up, Kang demands to know who she is and what she wants. She reintroduces herself as Cha Sun-jin. The only thing she wants, Kang himself. Totally lost, he asks for answers. She admits she is one of the 16 VIPs looking for a loyal fighter. Hearing that VIP status leaves Kang completely frozen. She admits she is new to the game, but she partially owns the Hashin group. So what do you and I make of this? She drops the bomb. She is the vice director's little sister. Let's dive right back in. She got exiled from Haitian thanks to her idiot brother, but honestly she was leaving anyway. Her own business is booming, so whatever. But she absolutely refuses to sit back and watch two crazy lunatics wreck her dad's entire company. Kang cuts her off. What does any of this family drama have to do with his parents? She reveals that she and her dumb brothers have been watching him like hawks. Especially the unhinged second son. After seeing Kang fight like a beast, she dug into his background. And guess what? She actually ended up meeting his parents. With a smirk, she admits he's way more valuable than she ever imagined. No way was she letting her brother get his hands on him. She claims his genes are simply incredible, and that's the only thing that matters. Kang is just standing there completely clueless. Genetics, seriously. Before he can process that, Cha totally changes the subject, reminding him the hunt for his parents is still on. So, if trying to escape is a death sentence, what exactly is his next move? She tells him there is only one way to keep his parents breathing. He instantly demands to know what the plan is. The answer, simple. Total victory. She's betting everything on him becoming the fighting ward champion. Then she'll use that leverage to crush her older brothers. She promises that the second son, Chonwoo, will completely rot in prison. Utterly useless. Threat eliminated. And those loan sharks, she has plenty of cash to make them disappear forever. Kang isn't buying it. Why would making a deal in this shady underground fight club actually mean anything? She explains the ward's golden rule. Anyone who breaks a fair deal gets instantly kicked out. No exceptions allowed here. Now watch this closely. He asks if she's really proposing a life or death deal right now. She says others want him here too. Besides, if a fighter can't crack the top 16, they get completely wiped out anyway. Kang demands hard proof that his parents are actually safe. So far, she's only giving him big words and zero evidence. Cha stays calm. Phones and devices are strictly banned in the fighting ward, so showing him proof is literally impossible. Suddenly, her eyes go ice cold. She asks if a secret comms line to his parents would buy his trust, especially after what they reported about his insane genetics back in the day. Kang instantly snaps, demanding to know what they said. But before she can even answer, the door slides open. A guide drone smoothly hovers right into the room. She quickly reminds him she's putting her own life on the line for his dad. No need to run. The drone then announces departure time. As he gets escorted out, she throws in one last warning. Keep his mouth shut about this chat and just focus entirely on securing victory. The heavy pressure absolutely crushes Kang. Back at base, Park checks the updated prize rankings. Amanda hit rank 19. Park is sitting at 22, Kim is 28, and Minwoo trails at 45. Shockingly, Kang is all the way down at rank 62. Kim assumes it's strictly because of his current injury. Nobody bets on an injured fighter. Suddenly, the door slides open. The guide drone is back, announcing Kang's return to room 10. Park gives him a huge smile, saying he looks way better than expected. He must have gotten some solid sleep. But that smile vanishes instantly the second he sees the pure rage on Kang's face. Kang cuts to the chase. How exactly did Park win without taking a single scratch? He yells that he desperately needs the top 16 for his family. He'll do absolutely anything to get there, practically begging Park to teach him. You feel that desperation, right? Kim watches, completely stunned. Kang then asks if reaching his goal is actually impossible. Right then, Amanda chimes in. She tells him point blank he needs a signature move. Without an ultimate technique, surviving against these monsters is basically impossible. She casually asks what his specialty is. Kang just freezes. He has absolutely no idea. Park jumps back in, telling him to master calf kicks. Remember that fight against Kai Kang blocked a heavy low kick with his bare shin and didn't even flinch. His bone density is basically armor-plated. Park explains that calf kicks are totally meta right now. Super brutal, highly effective for crippling opponents. He points at the wall, tells Kang to throw a test kick just to see. Kang spins and launches a kick right into the wall. A massive boom literally shakes the entire room. Park just drops his jaw. The sheer explosive power is unreal. He mutters that Kang is an absolute freak. Suddenly, heavy thuds echo down the hall. It's Ikario, Kang's next brutal opponent, throwing some seriously heavy punches in shadowboxing. Park lays it out. If Kang can score a knockout with just one kick, his win rate skyrockets for future rounds. Forcing an enemy to forfeit means easy advancement. He moves up the ladder without taking a single hit. Manhwa appears from nowhere, whispering none of that matters. Kang spins around as Manhwa asks about his secret finisher. And trust me, you're gonna want to see what happens next. Stick with me here. Park and Kang are both completely speechless. Menon taps Kang right on the forehead. The ultimate finisher, a headbutt. He says Kang once took brutal headbutts from a pro Lethwei fighter, blocked them, countered them, and walked away without a single scratch. Eyes totally crazed, Menon claims Kang has the absolute hardest skull he has ever seen. Park steps in immediately. He warns that a headbutt deals massive damage to the user. Headbutting those fight ward monsters, Park says Kang will straight up die from brain damage first. Menon just laughs it off. He reminds them that anyone entering this place is already risking their life anyway. The whole team is shocked, but Menon's dark logic makes total sense. Hold back against a top ranker and you get crushed. Park goes totally silent, realizing the madman is absolutely right. Menon asks if Park should be worrying about his own fight instead. The redhead means Park's next opponent, Han Min-soo. You remember him. The powerhouse blonde fighter from earlier, sitting at rank number 9. Meanwhile, deep inside a restricted fight ward zone, the director looks seriously disappointed. He admits Han's physical reaction to the doping is worrying. But bringing him here, still the right call. He says this directly to a scientist, talking about the man's own son. The sad doctor bows deeply, thanking the bandaged director for his generosity. Deep down, he hopes it was the right choice. They had no options. Watch this flashback closely. The doctor remembers finding his son Han Min-soo completely wasted away, just skin and bones. As a regular doctor, he was powerless. His boy was too weak to even stand up. Just when hope was totally lost, a sketchy message arrived from a place called Crematory Hospital. He went there and found a crazy facility that felt completely unreal. Men floating in water tanks kept alive by tubes. Famous doctors were involved, but the reasons simply did not matter. Seeing the insane doping test results right in front of him, the doctor completely broke down crying. He realized this wild, twisted research might be his son's only shot at survival. Suddenly, the director appeared. He straight up invited the doctor to use his own son for the crazy research. The doctor was terrified. But totally out of options, he made the heartbreaking choice to offer Han as a test subject. He turned around and sprinted home immediately. He burst in to find Han on a chair, a rope ready to end his suffering. The doctor saved him just in time. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Both of them crying while Han actually begs to be put out of his misery. Backed into a corner, the doctor joined Fight Ward. He constantly questions his terrible choice, but truly felt there was zero alternative. Because of that choice, his son turned into an absolute monster of a fighter. Back in the present, the drone announces Han's entrance. Trust me, you and I are not ready. He steps in to face Park. Park says the time is now. His fighting style, hardcore Krav Maga. In response, Han drops into a Kali Arnis stance. The drone officially announces the epic showdown between them can finally begin. Moving at blinding speed, Han rushes Park. The older guy barely has time to blink. Han thrusts his hand right forward, stabbing Park's shoulder with a brutal finger strike. Park panics about his right arm. Watching from the sidelines, Kang and the whole crew are blown away by that crazy speed. Min points out that Park definitely was not expecting piercing attacks in a barehanded fight. Han tries pulling back, but he is stuck. Park is clamping his shoulder muscles, trapping those fingers completely. With a grim look, Park speaks up. Do you think you are a little too close? Park raises his open hand and swings with insane power, aiming a massive slap right at Han's face. It barely grazes him. But Han narrowly dodges as the heavy strike smashes into the ground, completely shattering the arena floor. The raw impact blasts Han backward. Regaining his balance, Han wonders who this crazy old man actually is. Park fully acknowledges his skill. Piercing moves in a brawl like this. Unbelievable, he says. I will respond right back with my own signature specialty. He holds up his hand, proving he can use those exact same finger-piercing strikes too. Up in the observation room, the vice director is stunned. He asks Kim how Park can fight a rank 9 so easily. So what do we learn? Kim reveals Park is an ex-bodyguard mastering Krav Maga. Alright, you and I are diving into a wild martial arts origin. Kim explains this technique was built mid-century by a soldier defending Jewish civilians from brutal attacks. It mixed together moves from totally different martial arts. The result? Pure brutal efficiency for close-quarters combat. The vice director just scoffs. How could a simple self-defense style be so aggressive? Kim shuts that down fast. Krav Maga is built different. Its version of self-defense kill the opponent instantly. Back in the arena, the tension is suffocating. Both fighters are just waiting for a mistake. Park finally snaps, lunging forward with a lethal finger strike aimed straight for the eyes of Han. But Han just laughs easily, sidestepping right. Without missing a beat, Han pivots and launches a brutal counterattack from the blind spot. Park feels the danger, but he is way too slow. Han delivers a devastating head strike, completely shattering his glasses. Operating purely on instinct, Park swings wild, forcing Han back. "I will catch you this time," Park screams out. Han just smirks, thinking the heavy build of Park is a total joke for this kind of chase. Totally useless. But as if to prove him wrong, Park drops low, grabbing the dirt. It is time, he roars. He plants his feet solid, then uses his arms to launch himself forward. Now watch this closely, because things get absolutely insane. Park slams into Han at lightning speed, crushing him against the wall. Furious Han retaliates with an absolute hurricane of strikes from every angle. Park struggles hard, realizing he cannot match the speed. Han wraps up his combo with a precise, devastating flurry. From the sidelines, Kang Min and Amanda are paralyzed by shock as Park takes a brutal beating. Watching helplessly, Min whispers that this is the terrifying power of a rank 9. He sees no way out. Despite taking 2 massive gaping wounds to his chest, Park actually stays standing. Han even respects his crazy endurance. Han also catches a detail. Looking at those fists, Park has completely dropped his piercing techniques. But suddenly the guard of Park drops for just a fraction of a second. Han pounces. He knows perfectly well that grappling will not save the old man now. Screaming for Park to die, Han charges for the kill. The hit lands dead center. Park cannot block it. But right after impact, Park smashes his own fist into his stomach. Min yells out in pure shock. Amanda corrects him fast. Park did not hit himself, he struck the exact point where Han landed. You and I definitely did not see that twist coming. The fingers of Han are shattered. Realizing what happened, a wave of furious panic hits Han. He curses the crazy old man out loud. Before Han can even process the pain, Park blindsides him with a massive punch. No escape. The fist buries itself deep into the stomach of Han, launching him backwards. The impact is so ridiculously heavy that the arena wall completely explodes. Coughing up a fountain of blood, Han looks incredibly weak. But Park knows better. He has to land another blow exactly like that one. Problem is, his right arm is absolutely shredded. Forcing himself through the pain, Park winds up. One clean hit is all he needs now. He pours every last drop of his energy into one final desperate charge, screaming loudly. He prays for it to land, but his body violently locks up. Terrified, Kang screams for him to hold on. Park feels his knees giving out. His vision fades to black from the severe blood loss. His arm goes completely dead. He starts apologizing to his son, but quickly stops himself. That would mean accepting defeat. He snaps back to reality, muttering that this fight is far from over. But when Park forces his eyes open, absolute nightmare. Han is standing right there, ready to kill. The young hunter gives a sick smile. Those broken fingers, completely irrelevant. His right hand is actually the dominant one. Without hesitation, Han drives his right hand straight into the chest of Park. Kang screams in pure agony. Park throws up a desperate hand to block, but the brutal strike punches clean through his palm and deep inside. Han whispers that he respects his bravery, but in the end, it meant absolutely nothing. With his unnaturally long fingers, the blow pierces straight into his heart. Park tries one final twitch before his strength dies. Park drops heavily to his knees. The life drains out of him. Up in the stands, Kang is totally paralyzed, mind shattered by what he just saw. Han slowly locks eyes with him. A twisted smile creeps across the face of Han. And trust me, you and I will never forget what he says next. He tells Kang his bad luck killed him. Stick with me here. Han brutally rips his bloody fingers out of Park's chest. Pure horror hits Kang like a truck. Suddenly, his mind flashes back to a recent chat with the old man. Park had joked about Kang having endless energy, saying he just wanted to sit down, rest, and talk for a bit. With a sad smile, Park admitted that maybe his relationship with his own son would be better if they shared moments like this. That got Kang thinking out loud. Would a real bond with his own father feel like what he had right here? Park comforted him. He insisted that Kang's dad would never die and abandon such an amazing kid, just like he could never die and leave his own son behind. Bam. Back in reality, Park's lifeless body hits the dirt. The drone's cold voice breaks the dead silence. Han Min-soo is the official winner. Absolute disrespect. Han stomps his foot right on the old man's face, laughing like a maniac because this was too easy. He calls the whole thing a joke. Seeing him step on Park, something inside Kang completely snaps. Pure, unadulterated rage. He launches himself out of the stands way too fast for his teammates to even react. You're going to want to see this. Han just smirks, muttering that this is exactly how it should be. Kang crashes down into the arena, stopping right in Han's face. Warning sirens blare. The drones go on high alert, and Min wonders why nobody is shooting. Then it hits him. They only fire if a brawl actually starts. Down below, the tension is absolutely suffocating. Kang's voice is dead serious. Get your foot off of him. But Han just laughs, daring Kang to come make him move. Kang instantly shifts into a fighting stance. Immediately, every single drone weapon locks right onto him, itching to pull the trigger. Ignoring the death sentence, Kang charges. He swings a massive punch, screaming at Han to move, but Han strikes right back. Seeing things pop off, Min sprints for the arena to stop the madness. But then, total shock sets in. Before the punch connects, Min-yun blurs in from behind, pinning Kang's arms. Completely blinded by rage, Kang screams to let him go. Min-yun stays cold. If you want to throw your life away, go do it somewhere else. Kang thrashes wildly, but Min-yun slams him down hard, completely locking up his legs. Locking in a tight chokehold, Min-yun whispers to just go to sleep. Kang's vision blurs out. His final sight, Han's mocking silhouette towering over him. Right as he blacks out, another memory of Park floods back. The old man had begged him, if anything ever went wrong, please protect his son, keep him from walking down a dark and twisted path. In the memory, Kang smiles and says that, of course he will. The old man looks confused. Kang explains he still has tons to learn, so naturally he'd befriend Park's son anyway. Then he asks if he can just stay as his student forever. Touched, Park laughs, calling the kid a brat for planning to use him forever. Then the warm memory fades. Back to brutal reality. Han still has his dirty foot planted right in the old man's face. I know you're furious too. Kang lies knocked out while Han actually calls this a beautiful sight. Suddenly, Amanda steps up. She warns Han that he got the attention he wanted, so back off right now. Are you that desperate for attention? She taunts. Han snaps, asking if she wants to end up dead too. Completely unfazed, Amanda points straight at the drone and breaks down his options. Die by drone fire, die by the guide, or her eyes turn deadly, get beaten to an absolute pulp by her. Realizing she's not bluffing, Han backs off, lifting his foot and telling her to chill out. Strolling to the exit, he promises to slaughter them all, later vanishing right through the heavy metal doors. Amanda drops to Park's side. Just as she thought he's breathing, she screams for a stretcher, noticing his left hand literally saved his life. He blocked at the last split second, deflecting that fatal strike away from his heart. Medics swarm the arena. Up in the control room, the vice director is sweating, calling Han Min-soo a total freak. How on earth did he use his bare fingers like a spear? Kim drops the bombshell. Han is using experimental doping. It pushes his muscles, ligaments, and tendons to absolute god-tier levels, way beyond normal steroids. His body is uniquely modified just like Kang's. Even his raw bone density has been cranked to the max. That's where we stop. Should they recruit him? Let's jump right back into the underground arena, but grabbing Han, not happening. The director personally manages that beast. Kim tells him to chill out though. Fight Ward is packed with crazy strong brawlers ready to go, especially in the next round. The vice director checks if that capoeira girl is finally stepping up. Kim nods, but the old guy just laughs it off. A dance, really? Kim shuts that down fast. It only looks pretty. Back during Brazil's colonial days, slaves actually created this style to survive. They needed a way to fight back against brutal masters, so they hid it. Disguised as dancing, they trained right under their overseers' noses to become lethal. He warns that this martial art is soaked in blood. Later, it got so tied to underground crime that the government straight up banned it. This isn't a workout class, it's a killer combat style. Cut back to the blood-stained arena. 19-year-old Amanda Grochi steps into the spotlight. A drone buzzes overhead. Amanda glares right at Go-hyuk, the rank 10 beast who mastered multiple fighting styles. The robotic voice echoes out. Let the match begin. Amanda instantly hits the Jenga, perfectly fluid motion. Meanwhile, Go-hyuk just stands there. Total disrespect. He's completely looking down on her, not even bothering to throw his hands up to defend himself. Fine by her. Amanda blasts forward, ready to crack his skull open first. Now pay close attention here. The second she gets in range, a totally unhinged smile creeps across Go-hyuk's face. Cha Yun-woo is definitely feeling Amanda's vibe, but Go-hyuk, he's interesting. Kim drops the lore. This guy started in MMA, but he only became a monster after sensory doping. The procedure pushed his eyesight to superhuman levels. People started calling him the 10-second fighter, which completely skyrocketed his payout per match. Why? Because this absolute psycho literally ends every single brawl in under 10 seconds. Hearing that Cha Yun-woo is seriously impressed, Kim adds that shorter fights mean almost zero injuries for Go Hyuk. That makes him an absolute cash cow for bettors. So if he crushes this next round just like always, he scores a massive payday and bursts straight into the top 5 rankings. Basically, he's got a massive ego to protect. Now the actual showdown finally kicks off. Seeing him just standing there, Amanda goes all out for a quick knockout kick. But honestly, that was Go Hyuk's exact trap. He reads her aggressive rush instantly. Thanks to his crazy, doped-up eyes, he spots her weak point in a split second. Boom, he catches her leg mid-air, totally convinced he just secured the easy win. But plot twist, she hits a wild reversal, slamming him face first straight into the dirt. Yep, 10 seconds flat. But this time, Go Hyuk got completely destroyed. Amanda takes the crown. She coldly states some moves beat pure eyesight. We both saw that right. Up in VIP, a stunned Cha Yun-woo demands answers. Kim breaks it down. Go Hyuk got too cocky, and Amanda completely weaponized that arrogance against him for the win. But wouldn't a normal fighter just dodge and then counter? Cha Yun-woo is confused. Kim nods. That's exactly what Go Hyuk was banking on. Usually a heavy knockout kick requires huge momentum from the opposite side. If you miss that first swing, you just don't have time to reset. That completely drains your power and leaves you wide open to a faster counterattack. And if you're mid-air, it's game over. You don't have a grounded foot to push off and generate force. Cha Yun-woo realizes it now. Amanda was airborne. Her initial strike totally missed. It looked like a terrible spot. Kim agrees. That's exactly why Go Hyuk rushed her with zero hesitation, but he missed one massive detail. Capoeira literally uses the fighter's arms to support their crazy kicks. Plus, Amanda's own doping procedure didn't make her bulky. It just compressed her muscle density. This makes her stupidly fast and strong without being weighed down by massive gains. She's a living weapon, able to unleash maximum damage from literally any angle possible. Hearing this, Cha Yun-woo smirks. Well, at least they finally found one solid fighter tonight. But Kim warns him it won't be that easy to recruit her. The entire room just watched the unbeatable 10-second fighter get absolutely wrecked. Now every single high roller is drooling over Amanda. So, what do you and I make of this? Give up nah, Kim says. They've got time. Plenty of fighters left in the shadows. Right then, Cha Yun-woo spotted the next fighter, stepping up from Sector 10. Let's dive right back in because this match, it's going to be wild. That fighter has to go all out. Meanwhile, Kim Min-ho noticed our guy was finally waking up. The camera cuts to Kang Sun Wu. He's shaking, completely terrified and totally lost. Amanda rushed over to the scene. Seeing the kid was actually breathing, she faced Kim. She reminded him his own fight was next. Shouldn't he be warming up? But Kim Min-ho just smirked. He knew exactly what was coming. His opponent was his whole reason for being here. Flashback time. A VIP client once slid him a card making a promise. One day he'd get to watch his brother's absolute worst tormentor get crushed in a real match. Min-ho was confused. How was he supposed to find him without even a name? The VIP kept it vague. The target was an ex-pro boxer, and he'd drop the rest of the details when the time was right. Snapping back to the present, Kim smiled. He finally had the target's name. Choi Won-woo, the 16th ranked boxer. Meanwhile, up in the VIP room, Cha Yun-woo was eager to get the dirt on the top 5 fighters. Kim Min-hyuk broke it down, starting right at number 5. Lev, a Systema master and ex-Russian bodyguard. Back in the day, he kept his clients breathing by permanently dropping anyone who came after them. He stopped assassinations and fake accidents before they even started. That got the attention of Michael Lee, CEO of the military supplier Pawn. He handed Lev a totally fresh identity, made him his personal shield, and then immediately threw him into this brutal tournament. Now pay attention to rank 4 Go Kyung-ho. He's a taekwondo beast backed by Han Sang-soo, the CEO of RN Construction. Growing up, he worshipped his dad, who ran a local taekwondo dojo. But for some reason, the kid drifted into underground street fighting. When Cha Yun-woo questioned if taekwondo was actually lethal enough here, Kim brought up an old documentary. That film put different fighting styles head-to-head. It proved that the capoeira kick was absolutely devastating, packing a massive force of 800 kilograms. But a taekwondo master, they completely blew past that mark. Their kicks hit with an insane average of 1,000 kilograms of raw force, and Kim noted that guy was natural. Go Kyung-ho, on the other hand, he is literally a walking experiment of chemical enhancements. Kim swore that nobody on Earth had a kick as heavy as his. Moving to rank 3, Ryan. He's bankrolled by Go Yi-soo, the CEO of CT Bio, a shady pharmaceutical giant specializing in heavy doping. Along with the illegal juice, this guy literally had steel plates bolted into his bones. Pumping all those steroids completely fried his brain. Now he's famous for being an absolute unpredictable lunatic in the ring. Rank 2 goes to Matthew Lim, a wanted fugitive hired by Park Dong-soo, the notorious troublemaker running Pine Life. Kim admitted it was crazy that a guy like Park secured a top 2 fighter, especially because Matthew's background was a massive, empty blank spot. The only sure thing, the guy is a total psychopath using this death game for entertainment. He gets to crush people without the cops ever getting involved. His style is so bizarre and vicious, most victims hit the floor before they even realize what just happened. Cha Yun-woo couldn't help but call the guy a complete monster. You probably think that's insane, right? But Kim quickly corrected him. The real monster was sitting at rank 1. Before he could even finish explaining, the top fighter strolled right into the room, casually apologizing for not holding back his strength. This was K, a real-deal mercenary. His sudden drop-in completely caught Cha Yun-woo off guard. Suddenly, camera flashes lit up the room. Another guy walked up, calling K a moron. It was Choi Hoon, chairman of the Hyosung group. He stared right at Cha Yun-woo. Did he seriously think he could win just by tailing him to this place? Choi Hoon told him to start packing up his office. He called him an absolute idiot for betting his entire company on a high school kid. He made it super clear a certified bet is locked in. And he was hyped to watch that kid get absolutely humiliated in front of the whole crowd. The second his rival left, Cha Yun-woo was visibly furious, but he forced himself to ignore it, keeping absolute faith in his kid's victory. Kim brought him crashing back to reality, though. He warned that while the top 5 usually dominate, nothing in this tournament is guaranteed. The combat drugs make everything totally unpredictable. After popping second doses in the round of 16, some random fighters could suddenly become massive threats. Kim admitted he was hunting for exactly those kinds of dark horses. Right now, he had 5 specific names bouncing around in his head. First up was Ichiro, the guy set to fight Kang Sun Wu. Then there was Amanda Grochi and the terrifying judo master Ju Woo Kang. The last 2 were rising boxing stars Kim Min-ho and Choi Won-woo. And guess what? We're about to watch them clash right now. Let's jump right in. Min-ho stares down his opponent, demanding to know about Kim Min-song. Choi Won-woo just smirks. Never heard of him. That blatant lie sparks an absolute inferno of rage inside our young fighter's eyes. Boiling with pure anger, Min-ho remembers he sacrificed his entire life for this exact second. Zero hesitation. He charges straight at his target like a missile. Bam, a flawless opening strike, followed by a brutal gut punch. Choi Won-woo instantly folds in half, gasping for air in pure agony. No breathing room. Min-ho keeps the pressure up, unleashing another massive hit that launches his opponent soaring across the canvas. Revenge was his only mission here. But suddenly Choi Won-woo holds up a hand, telling him playtime is over. Get this, he took those hits on purpose. He actually needed the physical trauma to kickstart the chemical drugs pumping through his veins. Fully powered up, he taunts Min-ho. He really wants to see if this kid can even track his brand new, ridiculously upgraded speed limit. Will Min-ho crumble under this insane power gap? Our guy charges in anyway, but this time he gets absolutely shut down with a brutal counter. Even after taking damage, he relies on his crazy agility to slip past the endless combo. That quickness actually shocks Choi Won-woo. Inside, Min-ho is absolutely convinced he can match this monster's pace. But Choi just flashes an arrogant grin. He is on a whole different level. To prove it, he throws another strike, unleashing raw, terrifying power behind his fists. Watch closely now. The impact is so brutal it sends Min-ho flying away, while Choi laughs at his pathetic state. He mocks him, asking if he actually thought a weakling could win. He flat out declares that Min-ho does not even deserve to be called a fighter. Pinned down by the humiliation, a memory of his old coach suddenly echoes in his head. A vital lesson hits him. Right when a match feels completely hopeless, you always have a window for one final breath. One last desperate push. Fueled by those words, Min-ho shifts smoothly, dodging Won-woo's incoming strike and locking in for a counter. This stubborn resilience seriously pisses off Choi Won-woo. He realizes he has to crank his speed up to finish this. But out of nowhere, Min-ho proves he is actually faster. Running on pure, unadulterated rage, his only goal is destroying the guy in front of him. Panic sets in for Choi Won-woo. He cannot dodge fast enough and eats an absolutely devastating, crushing hit. This sudden, insane comeback leaves even the VIP crowd totally stunned. Drowning in fury, Min-ho makes it clear this has nothing to do with winning. This is pure revenge. He demands to know one final time if Choi killed his brother, but his opponent responds that he had absolutely no clue Kim Min-song was even dead. You didn't see that coming, right? Min-ho is completely lost. Glitching out and totally pissed, Min-ho demands to know what the hell he means. Choi says any pro boxer would obviously know the guy holding the title defense record. But he swears again he had zero idea the legend actually died. He does mention some crazy fighter obsessed with hunting down top-tier boxers. Seeing red, Min-ho screams that Choi is just making things up now. Before they can even finish shouting, a giant arena camera zooms right in, cutting them off. The ref jumps on the mic. Choi Won-woo cannot continue. Kim Min-ho is officially declared the winner of this absolute bloodbath. Up in the VIP room, the rich guys are buzzing about Min-ho's second awakening. 0 drugs required this time. For them, this twisted experiment is finally paying off. They figure Min-ho isn't quite at the god-tier level of the very first awakened guy from 20 years ago, but honestly, he is terrifyingly close to perfection. Even after that original legend vanished, they still made crazy upgrades using his leftover DNA. Because of that beating, his legacy was basically an impossible joke. A VIP size annoyed that if that guy never vanished, they wouldn't be in this mess. Where the hell did he even go? Cut to somewhere far away. Kang Sun Wu is throwing punches, visualizing the moment his body is finally ready for war again. Menon watches this insanity and asks if he is pushing too hard. I mean, the guy already totally wrecked the entire break room. He seriously warns him that this pace might literally bring the arena crumbling down. But in his head, Sun Wu refuses to quit. He has to outgrow the monsters. His secret, pushing his physical limits to the breaking point, then recovering to forge dense superhuman muscles. And the absolute best cheat code for recovery? Pure sleep. His wild theory was to just split his day right down the middle. Burn out every single muscle fiber, hit deep sleep twice a day, and literally grow 2 times stronger than a normal human. Of course, he totally knows only a freak with his insane healing factor could actually pull this off. But right now, Sun Wu thinks being just twice as strong is nowhere near enough. Menon sighs, asking if it is nap time again. Sun Wu doesn't answer. He just silently drops the massive training weights strapped to his legs. And that's where we leave it. Menon realizes his partner is an absolute madman ready to die for this. Ignoring him completely, Kang Sun Wu finishes his routine and hits the sleep chamber. Menon watches him amazed by his crazy 3-a-day training without rest. Let's dive in because seeing him fight is going to be absolutely wild. Right then, a tournament drone buzzes over and summons Menon straight to the arena. Time is up, his turn is here. Stepping onto the battlefield, he instantly locks eyes with his massive opponent, Ju Uwang. Up in the broadcast booth, director Chae Yeon-woo asks a huge question. Wasn't Ju Uwang one of Kim Min-sok's top 5 handpicked candidates? Kim confirms it. Thanks to some heavy power doping, Ju Uwang now packs a monstrous bone-crushing grip strength. One grab is all he needs to completely crush muscle and bone. Honestly, just that raw power makes most fighters give up instantly. But Kim warns her the real nightmare isn't just his strength. It's his flawless judo techniques. Get slammed to the ground by him and every bone in your body snaps. Chae Yeon-woo then asks about Menon. But Kim admits they have absolute 0 data on him. The only rumors floating around say he was pulled straight from the underground brawling wing. Nobody knows his origin or his style. Plus, Kim hasn't seen Menon fight once and finds it super sketchy that his doping status is still completely under review. Down in the arena, Menon just waits calmly for the bell. His hulking opponent is totally ready too. The second the match gets the green light, Ju Uwang makes his move. He flat out declares he is ending this quick and ugly. But Menon catches him off guard coolly, replying that he's really not a fan of talking. In a total blur, he dashes behind his enemy to strike. But Ju Uwang has insane reflexes, perfectly reversing the assault by using Menon's own momentum for a brutal judo throw. Ju Uwang violently slams Menon straight into the solid floor. The impact hits like an absolute meteor strike, leaving the entire crowd completely stunned in dead silence. Drones capture every brutal second. But watch closely here, because the final result will completely shock you. To everyone's absolute shock, the system declares Menon the winner, not his massive opponent. Totally confused, Chae demands to know what happened, but even Kim is speechless. Ignoring the chaos, Menon just celebrates his wild win, wondering how Kang is doing right now. Far away, our main character finally wakes from his rest. He feels his body shifting. That insane, grueling training is finally paying off big time. Doping, or no doping, the only thing that matters is pushing forward. His mind instantly drifts to his mom, wondering if she is staying safe out there. See, unlike the other fighters, Kang isn't here chasing glory. He's fighting out of pure necessity. Right then, a tournament drone locks onto him. He knows exactly what that means. Moments later, he tracks down Kim Min-sok. Completely pissed off, Kang demands answers. Kim quickly tries to calm him down, warning that if Kang dies in the arena, everything is doomed. But Kang is seeing red. Refusing to back off, he aggressively demands to know where his parents are being held. Kim bluntly claims he's taking good care of them. Kang isn't buying that garbage for a second and demands to talk to his family. Kim then drops a bombshell they received a direct VIP request. But here's the twist. He faked the disappearance report for Kang's family just to keep them totally safe. He confesses he's betting everything on Kang. And let's pause here because he guarantees Director Chae will be totally forced to follow this crazy plan. Kim looks him dead in the eye, asking if Kang seriously believes one of his own agents caused the incident. He asks who fed him that parent story in the medbay. Notice how Che just magically appeared the exact second Kang woke up with that specific info. Kim swears that timing was 0% coincidence. He calls her utterly clueless about the real truth. So clueless, the president himself booted her to protect his own 2 sons. Kang struggles to believe this, arguing that the woman he talked to had super solid details about his missing parents. To shut down the doubts, Kim pulls out undeniable proof, a heartbreaking note Kang's mom wrote on her own arm just for him. Instantly, Kang recognizes his mother's handwriting. But even with proof right there, trusting this guy is insanely hard. Kim begs for just one chance to explain. He reveals the VIP wants a spectacle, so they're hyping up Kang's next fight to massive levels. If Kang can somehow win this upcoming round, the VIP won't be able to ignore his existence anymore. Winning means his parents finally go free. Dead serious, Kang just asks who his opponent is. In response, the system calls his next target a fighter named Icha Ryu to the arena. Chewing on everything he just learned, Kang debates if Kim is actually lying, but he shakes it off fast. There's zero time for distractions right now. An absolute beast of an opponent is waiting. Up in the VIP booth, Che Yan-woo watches closely. Beside her sits someone huge. We aren't ready for what comes next here. Watch this closely with me. In the arena, our guy analyzes the stance and spots a clear calf weakness. Kang goes for a lightning-fast kick, but get this, the attack gets blocked like it's absolutely nothing. Ichika Ryu doesn't just block it. He grabs Kang and absolutely slams him right into the arena floor. He moves in for a brutal follow-up strike, but our protagonist barely manages to roll out of the way just in time. Watching this, Cha Yun-woo is seriously impressed and praises Ichika Ryu's clean technique. Kim Min breaks it down. Ichika is a total hybrid fighter. He isn't just a striker, he's totally mastered the ground game too. Plus, he was specifically trained for super unpredictable, messy fights. Fighting dirty opponents constantly has basically turned his body into iron, tanking pretty much any kind of attack. Back to the action, both guys are on their feet, completely shocking Ichika Ryu. He honestly never expected Kang to stand up after getting slammed that hard to the ground. But our guy doesn't just stand there. He goes straight on the offensive, cracking Ichika with a perfectly placed punch right to the forehead. He throws another strike, but Ichika Ryu easily dodges and fires back a fast counter that knocks Kang totally backward. But Ichika Ryu notices something strange. Even after taking that hit, Kang is flashing this totally crazy smile. Taking it as pure disrespect, Ichika Ryu gets furious and charges right back in. Now, pay attention here, because this is exactly the opening our guy was waiting for. Ichika Ryu grabs Kang to pin him down, but our boy pulls a wild move and savagely bites down on his leg. Absolutely furious, Ichika Ryu blasts him with a knee, drops an elbow, and kicks Kang away. But wait, he suddenly realizes his kick has zero power behind it. That crazy bite totally crippled his leg. Ichika seriously wonders if he's fighting an actual animal. Up in the VIP booth, Cha Yun-woo is demanding to know what's going on. Kim Min points out that Kang completely ignores combat rules, which is exactly what his opponent is figuring out right now. Then Ichika watches Kang dive for his other leg, thinking it's a completely stupid rookie mistake. But nope, Kang surprises him, whipping out a smooth capoeira kick that lands a direct hit. This specific move flashes back to a chat he had with Amanda. He actually told her to hit him with that exact capoeira kick. At first, Amanda thought he was just making fun of her martial art, but she blasted him anyway. Afterward, she asked what the heck Kang was trying to prove by testing her skills. Fast forward to today, Kang is showing off the results of that insane experiment. He literally copied Amanda's signature move just by taking the hit a single time. Unreal. Ichika Ryu reacts fast, grabbing Kang's leg to slam him hard into the dirt. But that plan gets totally ruined by an instant counterattack. Kang's kick sends Ichika flying backward, but the guy barely reacts. Inside, Kang feels amazing, his body moving exactly how he wants. He's totally confident that one more solid strike to that calf is going to end this match. Ichika finally realizes he made a massive mistake underestimating this guy. You and I both know this guy isn't normal, right? Ichika decides to stop treating him like a human, becoming a hunter facing a wild animal. Kang spots this dark shift in his vibe and knows he needs to step up. But even knowing that he just can't dodge Ichika's incoming strike, finding an opening, Ichika unleashes a brutal combo of hits, totally convinced this is game over for our boy. Up in VIP, Cha Yun-woo thinks it's already a wrap, but the woman in the other booth disagrees, and honestly, she's completely right. Out of nowhere, Kang blocks the rush and cracks him right back with a massive headbutt. The pain hits instantly, leaving Ichika Ryu completely dazed and way too slow to track Kang's next movement. In his head, the truth is obvious. Any normal man would be out cold. He is definitely fighting an absolute beast. Still, Ichika actually thinks he can win this. He lunges to grab the leg again, but only rips a chunk of pants as Kang smoothly dodges out of the way. This leaves Kang in the perfect spot for a vicious kick, Boom. He snaps the bone in Ichika Ryu's leg, completely wrecking his base. Desperate to stay standing, Ichika clings tightly to Kang. He manages to throw a brutal punch right to his face, but Kang's stance doesn't budge. Instead of backing off, he fires back with another kick, literally breaking the other leg. Without any support left, Ichika Ryu finally collapses. Only then does the delayed pain from that face punch kick in. Totally out of gas, Kang crashes to the floor too. Right after a tournament drone hovers over and officially announces that Ichika Ryu can't continue the match. Since Kang is still awake, he gets declared the winner. Up in VIP, Cha Yun-woo loses her mind, furiously screaming about how that's even possible. But Kim shuts it down, pointing out that Kang isn't actually knocked out, he just fell asleep. Meanwhile, a VIP sponsor is literally crying over Ichika Ryu's loss, since it just cost him an insane pile of cash. Trust me, you're going to want to see what's next. With 31 finalists decided, the top 16 will be chosen purely by prize money. Alright, stick with me here, you're about to see if Kang actually makes this elite group. Knowing Kang's VIP status could get wiped out, this guy starts sweating seriously, thinking about backing a completely different fighter. Meanwhile, Cha Yun-woo isn't playing around. She asks her assistant for her total liquid cash right now. She literally says if money is the issue, she will just throw more cash at the problem. Easy. Her assistant panics, warning her she is risking an absolute fortune. But she doesn't care about the risk at all. Suddenly, a drone buzzes in. It announces the round of 16 is kicking off, calling every single participant back to the arena. While the winners group up, Kim Minho spots Kang literally snoring on the floor. Someone seriously needs to wake this guy up. Up on the giant screen, the host hypes up the winners and gives a big shout out to the 16 VIP sponsors. He breaks down the rules. The top 16 spots are completely based on who raked in the most prize money. Now watch closely because this changes everything. He gives the VIPs exactly 30 seconds to bet on fighters with the highest potential return. Cha Yun-woo snaps to her assistant. She needs to know the exact cash gap between Kang Sun Wu and the 16th place guy. He drops the bomb. 2 billion won. And that gap is going to absolutely skyrocket in the final 10 seconds of betting. Without blinking, she goes all in. She orders him to dump every single penny straight onto Kang Sun Wu. The assistant is freaking out. That is 4 billion won. If Kang doesn't make the cut, they are completely and utterly ruined. He begs her to drop Kang and back a safer fighter. But Cha Yun-woo is totally stubborn and barks the order one more time. The guy cannot wrap his head around this insane gamble. But his boss isn't asking, she demands he make the transfer, and quickly. He pushes back, saying they already burned massive cash blocking other VIPs. He practically begs her to see this strategy as pure suicide. She demands to see the live rankings. But her assistant groans the board went dark the second that 30-second timer started ticking down. So flying totally blind, the VIP realizes all they can do now is wait for the official results. The host jumps back on the mic. Time to reveal the absolute top dogs first down to fifth. Cam takes first with 15,900,000,000 won. Ryan hits second with 12 billion. Then comes Guangho sitting at 10 billion won. Ref with 9 billion, and Mateo locking in 8 billion won. Hearing Mateo's name makes Kim Minho flinch. That meant another boxer was still alive in this brutal tournament. The list keeps rolling. Minho watches as Amanda snatches up 7th place, sitting pretty with 7,300,000,000 won. The names keep dropping all the way to 15th place. The VIP lounge is sweating bullets, absolutely agonizing over who gets that final spot. Finally, the host calls the 16th place winner. Their total prize money, 4,600,000,000 won. The lucky guy making the cut is a street fighter known as Gubon Gil. You and I both thought Kang was safe, right? Well, that VIP who lost money is absolutely crushed. The top 16 roster is totally locked, and yeah, Kang Sun Wu didn't make it. One of Cha Yun-woo's allies just groans in defeat. She cries about blowing her cash on the wrong horse. Meanwhile, Madame Yun does a victory dance, dying to see the look on Cha Yun-woo's face. But Kim Miok shuts that down fast. She warns her this wild competition isn't over yet. Right on cue, the host drops a massive bombshell. There's going to be an extra round for more spots. Cha Yun-woo's eyes go wide. She had literally zero clue a crazy rule like this even existed. The host grins. Yes, the top 16 are locked in, but they are opening up 4 wildcard slots. For those slots, the 15 losers must fight in a massive battle royal until only 4 are left standing. He orders the qualified winners out. Back on the floor, Minho is desperately shaking Kang to wake him up. Just then, a drone flies right up to their faces. It warns that this is a strict solo match. It commands Minho to back off immediately. Minho realizes it's hopeless no matter what he tries. Kang is out cold. All he can do is pray. His buddy snaps out of it soon. Minho bails, and the host announces arena modifications for the next round. The entire fighting platform lifts straight into the air. The dizzying drop below has half the fighters completely terrified. Just to crank up the tension, the host warns them, fall off and you're dead. The pit below is packed with absolutely lethal game-ending traps. So yeah, punching each other isn't enough. Now they have to desperately avoid getting tossed to their bloody deaths. And Kang, still totally unconscious, hanging right on the absolute edge of the death drop. The rest of the bloodthirsty fighters gear up for the massive clash. And trust me, we aren't ready for this. The battle starts now. Alright, jump in with me the second the match starts. These fighters completely lose it, clashing like absolute beasts, fighting for their very survival. Up in the VIP room, that bald guy is sweating bullets. But he breathes a sigh of relief because everyone is totally ignoring Kang Sun Wu's knocked out body. But the woman right next to him bursts his bubble. She coldly points out this peace won't last. For his own sake, Kang better wake up right now. Down in the arena, total chaos. It is a bloodbath with guys already getting tossed straight off the edge to their deaths. Of course, the free ride couldn't last. A few fighters finally spot Kang just lying there. One decides it is time to take out the trash immediately. But just as he moves in for the kill, blocked, Kim Minho steps up, desperately shaking Kang and screaming at him to wake up. But by playing the hero, Minho just painted a massive target on his own back. Now he is fighting for his own life. 3 angry dudes corner him at once. Minho scrambles to dodge their strikes, but there is no way he can protect Kang too. One guy lunges at Sleeping Beauty, but bam, Menon drops in and blocks the hit. Super annoyed by this random save, the attacker turns all his rage onto Menon. Minho isn't about to let his new buddy take a beating though. He instantly smashes the attacker away. But right on cue, another enemy exploits that opening and charges Minho. And this time, Menon returns the favor, stepping in to knock the guy back and save him. With a second to breathe, Menon smirks and asks if Minho wants to take a nap too. Minho just sarcastically shoots back that he has got terrible insomnia. Just like that, these two form a completely random alliance just to babysit Kang. Now, pay attention here. The other fighters are totally confused by their perfect teamwork. The big boss of the enemy squad realizes this is bad news. His crew plan to be the only ones walking out of here alive. So they change tactics. The squad groups up planning to pick off everyone else one by one. Minho is target number 1. He holds his ground and blocks the first few hits. But taking on 4 huge guys at once is a totally losing battle. But thankfully, he is not solo. Menon jumps right back into the fray. The enemy mob instantly pivots to gang up on Menon instead. Minho tries to rush in and return the favor, but gets violently shoved back. And then panic sets in. The bad guys completely ignore them and charge straight for the helpless Kang. Menon moves like lightning, grabbing the attacker right before the killing strike connects. The punch barely misses Kang, but the raw power of that hit is so insane it completely obliterates that entire section of the floor. The stone crumbles away, and Kang drops straight down into the pitch-black void below. Minho desperately lunges forward to catch him, but those goons heavily body-block his path again. Smirking, the enemy crew high-fives. They brag about officially crossing one more name off the list. You and I both saw that coming, right? Well, Menon laughs, revealing Kang didn't just finally wake up, he caught himself mid-fall. Completely shocked, the villains decide to just crush the 2 guys left up top. But springing up from the pit, Kang launches himself right back onto the arena floor, fully awake and pissed off. The exact second his boots hit the stone, a giant enemy locks him in a bear hug. While Kang wrestles to escape, another guy winds up for a brutal punch. Right as the fist flies, Kang brutally twists the guy, grabbing him, using him as a meat shield for a massive, bone-crushing impact. That heavy crash knocks both those idiots completely out cold. Seeing that wild move, Menon faces his own target and calmly says his trial expires now. Moving at blinding speed, he chucks the dude sky high, catches him midair, and pile drives him into the dirt with insane force. A dust cloud explodes from the sheer impact, leaving another fighter totally broken. Now only one guy from that squad remains, choking out Minho. Watching the demonic Kang slowly walk toward him, the last guy absolutely panics and begs. He drops Minho and scrambles to run away, but Han Minsu steps right in his way. Minsu won't even waste energy on trash like this. He coldly tells the coward to get lost. Catching his breath, Minho asks why a famous big shot like Minsu is even slumming it here. Smirking, Minsu arrogantly thanks him for recognizing his legendary status. But before he can keep bragging, a raging Kang charges him. Boom, they collide head-on, trading absolute haymakers right at the same time. Minsu swears being slightly injured won't stop him from winning, but Kang totally ignores his trash talk. Right then, camera drones buzz in, buzzing loud to announce the match is over. Turns out Minho used that crazy distraction to officially knock out the final random enemy. So what do you and I make of this? With only 4 standing, they are the winners, making it 20 total, moving to the next round. Stick with me, the host just announced a quick break. He drops the big news. The 16 VIPs finally get to handpick their absolute favorite players. Then all fighters are shoved into private rooms. Kang Sun Wu hits the recovery chamber, and guess who shows up? Kim Myeok. Kang makes it clear he will meet with absolutely any VIP if it speeds up his healing. Myeok promises to lock down exclusive support, but only for 3 hours. Once time runs out, Kang is completely at the mercy of the other VIPs. Myeok makes it super clear that Chae Sung-yeon desperately needs him. Honestly, the real priority here is the absolute scumbags who dragged his parents into this twisted game to begin with. Meanwhile, over in the room of Chae Sung-yeon, her bald buddy is freaking out, wondering why they cannot just call Kang right now. A floating drone pops up to bluntly tell them Kang is booked solid with someone else for the next 3 hours. Classic timing right, this update completely wrecks the poor guy, throwing the bald ally into absolute panic mode. The robot repeats that Kang is strictly off limits. This drives the guy crazy because he desperately needs to chat with him before the next brutal stage kicks off. But his VIP, Chae Sung-yeon, she is completely chilling. Totally baffled, he asks how she is so calm. Her answer, she is wearing her lucky tiara, so obviously everything is going to be perfectly fine. Fast forward a bit and the host drags the top 20 survivors straight back into the main arena. Time for the rules. The fighters actually get the first pick, this time choosing which VIP to partner with for the big finals. But here's the catch. If the VIP rejects you, it is the walk of shame right back to the start to wait for round 2. Watch closely here, the 4 players who fail to score a VIP partner will be instantly eliminated. Game over. Menon quickly cooks up a survival plan for the underdogs. The safest bet, just pick the absolute weakest looking VIP. Minho completely shuts that down. He argues the top tier VIPs will hog all the best fighters, leaving the rejected ones completely screwed and hopeless in the second round. Menon actually agrees, pointing out that these VIPs have massive egos and will not touch a fighter who got dumped by someone else. Minho watches the crowd swarm the strongest VIPs, shaking his head because they think the prize money is the only thing that matters. Menon quickly hits him with reality. He explains these guys are basically playing chess. It is not about cash, it is about locking down a spot with the elite and gaining literal unlimited power. But there is a much darker reason. They need a partner rich enough to casually cover up past crimes, and maybe even the ones they are plotting right now. Insane, right? We both know Minho thinks so too, begging their little 4-man squad to at least pick totally different VIPs. He calls dibs on an investment firm named GDF. Amanda steps up next, proudly declaring she is aiming for the Jihan Group. Menon gives a huge thumbs up. Jihan is the second biggest megacorp out there, and Amanda being ranked 8th means she can basically waltz in anywhere she pleases. Still clueless about his own pick, Menon randomly mutters that Cha Yeon-woo might actually be a solid backup plan. Hearing that name makes Kang flinch hard. Menon catches the weird vibe and asks if Kang was aiming for him too. Kang just drops an icy, dead silence. Back in the fancy seats, Cha Yeon-woo is literally throwing a tantrum because Kang is somehow still breathing. A guy named Kim breaks the news when they tossed Kang into recovery. The dude healed like a monster and actually packed on dense muscle mass. Kim admits that since Kang cannot be chemically doped, he might struggle against the heavyweights. But honestly, surviving this twisted game has already forged Kang a godly physique that easily matches the guys pumping experimental combat juice, which makes him the ultimate wild card of the tournament. Sweating bullets. Cha Yeon-woo screams that under absolutely no circumstances can Kang be allowed to team up with Chae Sung-yeon. Down in the dirt, the host yells for everyone to go stand in front of their chosen VIP. Half the guys sprint over instantly. Minho is not even paying attention. He is too busy drooling over the chance to smash the last surviving boxer in the arena. With the top 2 absolute beasts already locked in, Menon nudges Kang and asks who the madman is finally going to pick. Kang casually strolls up to the giant jumbotron and stops dead in his tracks, right in front of Cha Yeon-woo. Watching this, the bald ally of Chae Sung-yeon starts sweating. Up in the suite, Cha Yeon-woo does a victory lap, grinning like a complete villain. But classic Kang style, he slowly raises a single middle finger right at the screen, declaring he would rather die than pick him. And trust me, we just witnessed peak disrespect. The face of Cha Yeon-woo instantly contorts in pure rage, while Kang smoothly turns his back and walks right over to Chae Sung-yeon instead. Stick with me, we are jumping straight into a deeply personal memory from Cha Yeon-woo's past. Back then, her mom handed over Seon-woo's headband, promising it would bring her real comfort when she needed it. She told her it originally belonged to someone who was just as brutally honest as Cha Yeon-woo herself. Her mom remembered taking little Seon-woo to an amusement park for his 6th birthday. First and absolutely last time. See, the family was basically living in hiding, totally terrified of simply going outside. Living like hermits made her incredibly anxious, constantly panicking over absolutely anything that might draw unwanted attention to them. But at the park, little Seon-woo threw a massive fit, demanding the absolute biggest, flashiest headband in sight. Because his health was super fragile back then, she just could not say no, terrified they would never get another happy moment like this. But her public anxiety was so intense that when a huge crowd randomly formed, she completely lost track of little Seon Woo in the chaos. Luckily, just a few minutes later, the kid actually found her. He literally used that giant flashy headband on her head as a beacon to navigate back. Because of that exact memory, her mom passed the headband to Cheon Woo, hoping it would guide her safely toward a much brighter future too. Snapping back to reality, Menon realizes his top VIP pick is already taken. Now he has to improvise. He pauses to see who Kim Minho goes for first. Meanwhile, Kim Minho is having his own flashback, remembering the exact moment he was finally introduced to the primary target of his big revenge. Now watch closely, this target was actually a massive rival of CEO Goisu over at the pharmaceutical giant CT Bio. They basically promised him a huge favor for capturing a guy named Ryan. Win or lose, the sponsor offered any request he wanted. Naturally, Kim Minho asked why they were trying so hard. Turns out the sponsor's daughter was heavily addicted to a crazy strong painkiller made by CT Bio. Because of that, the guy would do literally anything for some help. Back in the present, Kim Minho locks in his choice, striding right toward the image of CEO Jason. Inside a VIP room, an assistant gives an update on Kang, the #1 fighter. He went straight to Chae Hyun, the big boss of Hosung Group. Hearing this, VIP Han Ji-han just shakes his head, muttering that Chae Hyun is an absolute idiot. His assistant is worried they might miss out on their favorite fighter, pointing out that rival VIPs probably dropped way better offers on the table. But Han is super confident. He stares right at Amanda as she picks him, grinning and loudly declaring capoeira is officially his new favorite martial art. Meanwhile, Menon realizes his options are quickly disappearing. If he keeps hesitating like this, he is definitely getting the absolute worst VIP left. Clueless on who to pick, he just rolls the dice and approaches Hwang Moo-hyuk, the eccentric CEO of a massive TV broadcasting company. Menon thinks the guy is a total joke but assumes nobody will mess with his safe strategy. Shockingly, 2 other fighters lock onto the exact same VIP, leaving him completely trapped. You and I both know his next move. He heads straight to the booth to convince him face to face. Wildly enough, Hwang Moo-hyuk is just as unhinged as Menon. He instantly decides this fighter is the absolute perfect chaotic fit for his company sponsorship. And boom, Menon is officially selected. Over in his booth, Kim is cheering, bragging that he finally crushed Min-soo. His master plan, he literally just used Kang as the perfect bait. Cheon Woo asks how he pulled it off. Kim laughs, admitting it was total luck. He just stumbled onto Kang's name hidden inside Min-soo's personal files. From that single clue, he figured out their connection and used one guy to hunt down the other. Now Kim is totally convinced it is only a matter of time until Kang ranks in the top 5 fighters. Right after that, the host announces VIP selection is completely over. The 4 unlucky fighters without sponsors get instantly eliminated, leaving just 16 competitors still standing. He then tells the remaining fighters to chill with their VIPs until the round of 16 officially kicks off. Over in Cheon Woo's area, her partner notes that after all this crazy drama, they finally get to meet Kang. The thought alone makes him super awkward. But right on cue, our main guy strolls into the VIP room. Cheon Woo immediately notices he looks 100% recovered. Our hero walks straight up to the VIP, saying he really needs to thank her for protecting his family. Cheon Woo waves it off, telling him no thanks are needed, confirming Kang's parents are safely hidden far away from this mess. Plus, she insists she is just investing in a beast of a fighter who can win the tournament for her. Suddenly, the bald guy orders Kang to back off. Kang quickly apologizes, explaining he just got super emotional seeing his mom's special tiara right there with her. Right after that intense little moment, the host starts announcing the upcoming match brackets. The bald guy realizes Kang is facing the rank 3 fighter next. Trust me, you and I know this match will be absolute torture. Stick with me here, Cheon Woo says, fixing Kang's injuries is step 1 to winning. Meanwhile, the bald guy wonders why our MC looks so completely chill right now. Cheon Woo just smirks. She loves that absolute confidence, telling him that's the exact reason she bet everything on him. Suddenly, the host cuts in. The matchups are completely random, and the very first fight is set Cam versus Ricardo. The bald guy gets instantly hyped. He's been dying to see this legendary Gurkha mercenary actually fight. He warns Kang to watch this match like a hawk since he'll eventually have to fight this absolute beast himself. He explains that Cam's mercenary squad isn't just a joke, they rank in the top 3 globally. Born and raised in the world's highest mountains, these guys have crazy superhuman cardio. Training in that brutal terrain means their stamina bars are basically infinite. These famous warriors are literally Nepal's top export. Hearing this, Cheon Woo instantly realizes just how insane this fight is going to be. But the bald guy notices something funny. Not a single word of this is scaring Kang. The VIP just smiles at his stone-cold face. She knows she backed the right horse and totally trusts our guy to dominate. Still, her bald buddy is sweating bullets. Down in the arena, the #1 ranked Cam steps up against Ricardo, a jiu-jitsu fighter ranked 12th. Ricardo's sponsor Hanji admits that pretty much nobody believes in his guy today. Cam's fame is just too huge. But his ally claims Ricardo is about to shock them all. The logic Cam took, heavy damage climbing to rank 1, while Ricardo is completely fresh and totally unscathed compared to his past opponents. Watch closely because things get wild. The host announces a second round of doping before they fight. A literal syringe pops up right in the arena center, and Ricardo grabs it instantly. He jams it right into his arm and boom, the effects hit him instantly. A drone scans him, confirming the dose is active. Ricardo flexes, already feeling that insane chemical rush flooding through his entire body. Jacked up on new strength, he charges in, forcing Cam to react and officially kicking off the match. Drunk on that crazy speed boost, Ricardo treats his opponent like total trash-talking that Cam's top rank doesn't mean a thing now. He slaps a brutal armlock right onto Cam. His sponsor goes wild, celebrating the win way too early. Huge mistake right there. Cam isn't even close to being done in this fight. Ricardo panics. Even while squeezing with everything he has, Cam's arm just regenerates. Desperate to run, Ricardo is too slow and gets slammed violently into the dirt. Watching this absolute beatdown from the stands, the crowd is stunned. That impact shattered him. Ricardo can't move, and his sponsor watches in total despair as Cam is declared the winner. The host laughs, saying that match was just a tiny appetizer. He then announces they are handing out fresh doses of doping for all the upcoming fights. Moments later, every fighter gets their new chemical boost. You and I know he doesn't need that garbage. Kang completely rejects the drug. Cha-Yun-Woo smirks, noting the boost wouldn't matter anyway, her guy is already a total monster. Kang looks totally confused, asking what the heck she means. But before she can explain, wild screams erupt from the total opposite side of the arena. Kim Min-ho just shot up. The instant power surge leaves his sponsor amazed, screaming that this is exactly what the kid needs to win. The host jumps back on the mic. Next matchup, Miguel versus Ryan, the terrifying rank 2 fighter. Minho's sponsor tells the kid to watch this match very, very closely. He reveals Ryan was pumped full of massive drug doses way before this, permanently frying his brain in the process. The sensory drug cranked his enemy detection to max, but the gnarly side effect, it killed his other senses completely. This dude feels absolutely zero pain. The sponsor remembers Minho fighting a guy with boosted senses once before, but the VIP's guy cuts in. Ryan is built totally different. This won't be anything like that last fight. The sponsor agrees, Ryan is a nightmare, but then asks what was the second drug they pumped into him. The ally drops the bomb. Ryan also took a speed booster. Hearing that, Minho looks absolutely stunned. Back down in the pit, Ryan stares down Miguel Dambe, who also injected the crazy speed boost. Ryan stares at Miguel's bandaged fist, figuring the guy is channeling all his power right into that single right hook. He smirks, thinking this basic strategy is way too obvious even for a meathead. The bell rings, Miguel zones in on his one true goal, win this death match and save his daughter. Ryan charges in like a rabid dog ready to attack, but suddenly realizes Miguel is actually faster. So what do you and I make of this? Miguel's drugs are kicking in, but he's also brilliant, using his left hand to perfectly shield every vital point. Alright, you and I are diving into pure chaos. Ryan tests his opponent's speed. He immediately unleashes a relentless, brutal combo. But going full offense leaves him wide open. Miguel jabs for his eyes, but actually takes way worse damage when his own fingers bend from the insane impact. Even with broken fingers, he absolutely refuses to quit throwing a desperate, super heavy right hook. That is exactly when reality hits him. Ryan easily dodges the punch, perfectly copies the technique, and counters directly into Miguel's eyes. Absolute disrespect. Totally blinded, Miguel is left standing there, completely defenseless. Ryan takes the opening and attacks with zero mercy. Miguel still thinks he can win this, trying to hold his ground, but his sponsor panics as he gets completely crushed by the barrage. Seconds later, the drone officially calls it. Miguel is totally knocked out, making Ryan the grand victor. Watching closely, Kim Min-ho finally understands exactly how crazy this upcoming challenge is. He admits to himself he could never dodge that strike like Ryan did, let alone perfectly counter an eye gouge like that. Even knowing the massive skill gap, backing down is not an option. He has to fight Ryan no matter what happens. Following that bloodbath, the host announces the next massive fight, Go Yang Ho versus Kang Sun Wu. Our main guy's sponsor was really praying he wouldn't face a drugged-up fighter. She just wanted Kang to win without taking heavy damage. But the bald guy beside her drops the hard truth, basically everyone in the top 16 juices. A matchup like this was totally unavoidable. Using the quick break, Cha-Yun-Woo asks about the actual difference between normal taekwondo and combat taekwondo. His ally explains they fundamentally use the exact same basic skill set. He breaks down how the original style was designed purely for real war. Over time, it got watered down for Olympic sports. To keep athletes safe, all the truly lethal bone-breaking techniques were totally removed. So combat taekwondo is just the original raw version. Zero rules, zero limits, and absolutely packed with dangerous moves. Down in the ring, Go Yang Ho gets fully ready. Now pay close attention here. Kang knows beating the rank 3 fighter instantly makes him a total legend in this tournament. He figures taking things to the ground is the smartest play, especially since he is fighting a literal kicking machine. The second the bell rings, he completely rushes in for a rapid takedown. But Go Yang Ho easily evades the tackle, punishing Kang with a crazy precise kick. Eating that intense pain, Kang somehow grabs the guy's leg anyway. But that risky move just earns him another brutal strike right to the face. Taking heavy damage, our guy snaps back fast. He knows this fight is far from over. Instead of backing off, Kang shocks him by countering with his own kick. Go is totally stunned. How is this guy still moving after eating so many headshots? Kang just keeps pushing forward with rapid attacks, driving his enemy all the way across the entire arena floor. Genuinely impressed now, his opponent admits Kang is easily one of the absolute top tiers. But honestly, Kang's head is spinning like crazy. One more clean hit and he is definitely going out cold. You and I both know, charging blindly won't work here. Remembering normal taekwondo bans, low kicks, Kang immediately formulates a very sneaky new plan. When the next attack comes, he will blast his lower body. Strategy locked in, he steps up to his opponent again, playing it way more cautiously. Go watches him step up, thinking Kang is dreaming if he expects a win. Go hasn't even used full power. Once he does, it is over. The split second, Go kicks Kang, strikes the planted leg, but gets completely blindsided when Go drops a vicious leg sweep out of nowhere. Up in the VIP seats, Go's sponsor goes wild over this advantage. Kang's ally gets nervous, explaining that leg sweeps are super rare because they are totally banned in official sports. But since this underground ring has zero rules, Go is abusing that move to the absolute max. Over in their booth, Cha Yun-woo watches the scene with intense concern. The bald guy notes that taekwondo kicks flow like capoeira. Super unpredictable, making this an absolute nightmare even for Kang Sun Wu. He adds that while this style drains stamina like crazy, Kang cannot just stall for time. Why? Because his opponent is doped up on strength enhancers to the absolute limit. Down on the mats, Go thinks Kang should just forfeit right now to save his own life. Trust me, we are watching a disaster. Go is about to completely crush him, while our boy feels sickening pain, convinced his ankle was basically destroyed. Stick with me here. Kang barely gets a second to breathe before his opponent rushes in again. Go's first kick grazes him, but our guy completely misses the next strike, taking it head on. Desperate, Kang dives for the legs again. But just like last time, Go reads him perfectly and immediately shuts that takedown down. Sent flying across the floor, Kang's vision blurs. He is dangerously close to passing out. Go sees him struggling and goes in for the kill. He closes the distance in a flash, driving a sickening kick straight into Kang's gut. The impact is devastating. The pain hits so hard, Kang genuinely thinks this is the end. Flashing back, he remembers how he used to just run away whenever things hurt this badly. But not today. If he loses now, every single drop of blood he spilled means absolutely nothing. Pushing through the absolute agony, he actually manages to launch a counterattack. It only pushes Go back, but the guy definitely feels that punch. Realizing Kang isn't going down easy, Go decides it is time to use his full power. But before he can even blink, Kang is right back in his face. Go tries to block the rush, but gets completely caught off guard when Kang literally bites his hand. Panicking, Go throws a desperate kick to shake him off, but things do not go as planned. Kang tanks it entirely. He fires a kick right back, launching Go flying all the way across the arena like a rag doll. Scrambling up, Go realizes Kang's aura changed. He is fighting a true monster now, way stronger than the others. Saving energy is officially off the table. Watch closely. To beat this guy, he has to go completely all out. Go winds up his absolute strongest kick, betting everything on a one-shot victory. Across the ring, Kang gets ready to clash. Bam, they strike at the exact same time, but Go definitely takes the heavier damage. The force shatters his defense. Meanwhile, Kang eats the attack and just keeps moving forward. Seeing that pure panic in Go's eyes, Kang actually starts laughing like an absolute maniac. Then whack, a brutal headbutt connects instantly, dropping Go. The entire crowd falls completely silent in shock. Kang's sponsor is stunned by the raw savagery, while Gyongho's backer stares in absolute disbelief at the loss. The drone officially declares Kang the winner. The bald guy loses his mind with happiness, and even Cha Yun-woo smirks at the epic victory. The other top guests, absolutely furious. They cannot wrap their heads around a clean, drug-free kid taking down their third-ranked powerhouse. Up in the box, that masked guy closely studies Kang's combat style. It looks exactly like the very first successful transformed weapon, a guy named Kang Hun Choi. He realizes the old legend went into hiding, changed his identity, and apparently had a kid. You and I know this changes everything. He immediately orders his team to hunt them down. Meanwhile, far away, Kang's mom cries to her comatose husband. She admits they did absolutely everything to keep their boy safe from their enemies, but it breaks her heart that she failed. The bad guys still found him anyway. All that running just delayed the inevitable nightmare. Now she knows their only shot at surviving this mess is if her husband finally wakes up. Back at the arena, Kang wakes up recovering and realizes he went feral again. A few more seconds in that ring and he would have completely lost his mind. He seriously questions if he can even stay sane until this brutal tournament is over. Right on cue, Wu walks in checking to see if he is finally awake. She drops a bombshell. Kang's mom explained his volatile condition and exactly why his dad ran away from this awful place. Wu explains that his mother knew all about his wild rage tantrums as a kid. She wanted to train him, to teach him how to weaponize that fury to survive. Since she could not do it, she tasked Wu with his training. Then comes a completely crazy, shocking secret. Years ago, Kang's dad was a lab rat here. They threw healthy young kids into the combat wing for twisted human experiments. Almost nobody survived that hell. But out of 3 total survivors, 2 were Kang's parents. Hearing this, our boy is left absolutely speechless. Wu says his mom was incredibly strong at first, but the heavy side effects slowly destroyed her. Meanwhile, his dad unlocked legendary strength and a completely broken absolute healing ability. That overpowered skill put a massive target on his back from the higher-ups, forcing him to plan an escape. Breaking out of this fortress was near impossible. They had to patiently wait for the perfect opening. And here's where we leave it. His dad mastered that very same feral rage to finally break them free. Stick with me, Kang was finally born. Hearing this insane backstory, our MC finally gets why his dad was so obsessed with hiding the doping. Wu drops another bomb his dad sent, one last message on that tragic day. His mom thinks his dad wanted to teach Kang real self-control. Why? Because he knew he couldn't keep hiding his son from their deadly enemies forever. But she made one thing crystal clear. She absolutely refused to let Kang live his life, terrified of his own monstrous rage. Wu then passes on his mom's ultimate advice. Whenever that adrenaline spikes and he feels the rage taking over, he needs to physically bite his own hand to ground himself. Our MC is completely shell-shocked, hearing what his parents suffered, devastating. But Wu hypes him up, reminding him he actually has a real shot at escaping this hellhole. The catch: it's going to be brutally hard. He can't just let the fury completely take over. He has to learn how to channel that explosive power when it actually counts. She reveals his dad's crazy method, punching himself right in the heart with his eyes closed to stay sane. But honestly, she has no idea if that'll even work for Kang. Kang just smirks. There is literally only one way to find out. Wu warns him if this backfires, absolutely nothing will stop his rampage. But Kang, he doesn't care about the risk. He's testing his old man's technique right here, right now. Meanwhile, up in the VIP booth, the bald guy is watching the arena fights, completely losing his mind. Down below, a kung fu master named Luhan is absolutely wrecking the place. It's wild these fighters are just turning into straight-up monsters now. Seconds later, his boss Wu walks back in to get a quick status update. He reports Luhan's easy victory. The guy was already a beast, but with that doping buffing his complex martial arts moves, totally unstoppable. The bald dude keeps going, pointing out that Han Minsu also crushed his way to the top. Now pay attention because this gets wild. Minsu is getting completely unhinged. Every single opponent leaves that arena badly injured. Looking at this bloody mess, he honestly can't picture any scenario where Kang survives against these top 8 psycho fighters. But then he remembers the secret they learned from Kang's mom. He asks if the kid is actually ready to tame his rage. Wu sighs, explaining that Kang punched his own chest to trigger it but just instantly passed out cold. For the bald guy, this proves one thing. Kang's insane ability is seriously tearing his own body apart. His boss nods. At this point, they can only hold their breath for the next round. That's the only way they'll see if Kang can actually weaponize his wild fury to his advantage. Shortly after, the announcer screams next up is Lev, currently ranked 4th against Kim Minho. Both fighters step up while their sponsors wait anxiously in the stands for the match to begin. Michael Lee Lev's sponsor thinks luck is totally on his side. In his eyes, his fighter is facing a literal child, guaranteeing an incredibly easy victory. Plus, he's planning to use Lev as the ultimate prototype to launch his shady investment in human weapons. On the flip side, Minho's sponsor, Jason, asks what kind of crazy fighting system Lev even uses. His assistant breaks it down. It's a martial art straight out of Russia. Sure, it looks like standard Western brawling, but it secretly weaves in fluid movements from Chinese Tai Chi. Rumor says scientists literally analyzed Chinese Kung Fu, extracted all the best parts, and injected them into this Russian system. Jason was totally confused, but he knew one solid fact. You and I know how these tournaments go. Minho is facing a tough opponent, and taking damage now ruins his future matches. Down in the ring, Minho stares at his opponent. The guy is totally relaxed, classic anime logic. Minho is being heavily underestimated. He also knows Lev's stamina is heavily maxed out with doping. If this takes too long, winning becomes totally impossible. So Minho makes a split-second decision. The best option is to end this instantly with a flawless knockout. His logic. Even facing a stronger beast, he has raw speed on his side. One hyper-fast strike and his adversary won't even be able to dodge. But yeah, Minho quickly realized he was dead wrong. He totally missed the punch and instantly ate a brutal counterattack. Stumbling backward, the young kid tries to understand why that punch completely missed. His brilliant solution, just attack him all over again. So he lunges right back at Lev, swinging for another huge strike. But nope, his opponent easily dodges and counters again. Minho desperately tries to evade, but boom, he gets tagged again, and this time he feels the massive impact way more forcefully. Seeing his boy take a direct heavy hit, his sponsor totally panics, literally unable to believe what he's witnessing. Meanwhile, Minho struggles to recover from the brutal blow. Backing away from the giant, he suddenly lets out a faint laugh. Seeing that reaction, Lev wonders if Minho is just trying to bluff. He concludes that laughing during a brutal battle like this doesn't diminish the huge skill gap between them. Believing the boy has learned absolutely nothing, Lev prepares to attack again as Minho approaches once more. That's where we leave it, he dodges, getting into position to counterattack. Let's jump right in. At that exact moment, Minho figures out the truth. His opponent is way too slow, just sliding around to dodge. Realizing this, he traps Lev right where he wants him, and boom, a direct massive hit sends the guy completely flying backward. Up in the VIP booth, Jason is going wild celebrating, but his assistant warns him. This fight is definitely not over yet. Sure enough, Lev struggles back up to fight. But Kim Minho just walks over, says he is done wasting time, and knocks Lev out cold with one effortless push. The Russian sponsor absolutely loses his mind. Seconds later, a drone hovers over and officially announces that Lev is done. It declares Kim Minho the absolute winner, moving him straight into the top 8. Jason hypes up his perfect choice again, while his assistant firmly believes Minho is finally ready to go head-to-head with Ryan. Over in another booth, Jihan Hyan, the boss of the second biggest corporation around, says it is time for his fighter to shine. His assistant quickly notices his boss is acting way more hyped than usual. Jihan Hyan casually shrugs it off, saying he just loves women with fierce attitudes. His assistant immediately asks if he is catching feelings for Amanda. Even though it totally looks like it, Jihan Hyan denies everything. He claims they have bigger problems since Amanda really needs to prove her hype in this brutal match. His partner nods, agreeing that a quick 10-second knockout will be super tough. Why? Because her opponent is rank 5, a deadly former assassin packed full of heavy combat doping. Next, the host announces the brutal showdown between Tareem and Amanda. Tareem steps up and actually apologizes in advance. He calmly claims the only way he knows how to win is by completely destroying people. Amanda just smirks with total confidence. She calls his bluff, fully believing there is zero chance she loses. Watch this part closely because you are going to love it. Tareem claims she won't be talking trash for long and attacks, but surprise, Amanda perfectly dodges and instantly counters with a devastating crushing blow. The impact hits so insanely hard that her opponent completely loses all feeling in his right hand. He instantly knows this is bad news. But he figures, hey, as long as my legs work, I can stay in this fight. Big mistake, Amanda violently targets his legs too, sweeping him to the dirt. Without letting him breathe for a second, she hits a crazy capoeira strike, pinning him down hard with the raw strength of both her legs. Keeping him completely trapped, Amanda casually explains that, to win without killing you, literally just have to be stronger. With that insane flex, Amanda locks in her win, making her sponsor super happy. Next up, Menon realizes it is finally his turn and swears he is done hiding his true strength. The announcer screams out that Menon is going up against a taekwondo master named Yoon Go. Up in the boxes, Jay Lore, a massive oil CEO, smiles wide, seeing the old master looking so incredibly healthy and ready to fight. His assistant points out that Yoon-go barely even looks like the guy whose legs were crushed in a car wreck. Walking again is a literal miracle. Jay Lore proudly says he did everything humanly possible to repay Yoon-go for saving his life that day, but honestly, now he is seriously wondering if throwing the master back into an arena was the right call. Meanwhile, over in another suite, Mu Yan Huang is questioning if Menon's special doping mix is actually a big deal. His assistant breaks it down. The painkiller is basic, but Menon is literally the only guy with chemically hardened skin, making him a complete tank. I know what you're thinking. His sponsor is shocked too. Menon hasn't used any strength or speed doping yet, and everyone wants to see what's next. Back down in the ring, Menon stares his opponent down, reminding him they are pros. No warm-ups needed. These two just want to start brawling right away. Yoon-go answers that by slamming a heavy kick into him, then diving in to strike again on the floor. but Menon casually blocks it. He grabs a broken chunk of the stone floor and violently hurls the massive rock straight at the old master. Yun-go barely dodges it. He realizes that rock could have instantly killed him and stares at Menon, wondering what kind of monster he's facing. Menon smirks, telling the old man not to hold back just because they are the same age. Yun-go instantly realizes this guy loves talking trash. Yun-go fires back that if they were actually the same age, Menon would value his time more. Then the master completely goes on the offensive. They rush in and boom, both fighters land heavy simultaneous strikes. Menon warns him he is not just a punching bag and pushes forward, but the master easily dodges and launches a nasty counter kick. Menon laughs, thinking it is an easy dodge, but the old man smirks. He dodged the fake foot. The real kick smashes right into Menon. Up top, his sponsor freaks out, screaming about why a taekwondo master is suddenly throwing capoeira moves. His partner quickly corrects him. It is not capoeira but a high-level inverted double kick. One leg baits you while the other leg completely destroys you. Despite taking the hit, Menon sighs, complaining that he didn't feel any pain. Yun-go can't believe this disrespect. He attacks again, punching Menon right in the head, but Menon doesn't even flinch. Trust me, you and I both know that old man's hand just shattered instead. Alright, stick with me. Menon swore he'd never lose to an amateur, launching himself like a literal missile and completely crushing his opponent. The old man was completely out cold. Right on cue, the tournament drone officially declared Menon the winner. Moments later, the host hyped up the crowd, announcing the top 8 advancing to the next round. Menon casually walked over to his beaten opponent, telling the guy not to feel bad about losing. His secret, he bragged about surviving in this brutal world for 20 whole years. While the host introduced the final 8 fighters, Cha Yun-woo turned to her companion, wondering who would be the perfect matchup for Kang. The bald guy admitted he wasn't totally sure, but he quickly started breaking down the competition. He pointed out Amanda, a one-punch knockout artist, and Kim Minho, a boxing prodigy with speed and strength straight out of a comic book. Even with those monsters around, he still called Menon the absolute scariest. That guy tanked massive hits but never once needed the recovery room, unlike every single opponent who had the bad luck to face him. Hearing this, Cha Yun-woo realized there was only one guy she hadn't seen fight yet, a mystery fighter named Luhan. The bald guy instantly warned her that Luhan was actually Kang's absolute worst nightmare, operating on a totally different level from everyone else. He explained that Luhan combined elite kung fu with a freakishly strong body, making the guy move like an actual alien. Plus, Luhan ranked second in the betting pools. He was the one guy they needed to avoid completely. Now pay attention because right on cue, the host announced the exact nightmare matchup, Kang versus Luhan. Cha Yun-woo just smirked, calling it pure luck. Her companion was stunned until she explained that beating Luhan guaranteed the absolute highest betting payout. Her assistant noticed she was already planning her victory lap, while the bald guy stood there sweating bullets. Up in another VIP suite sat Se-Hoon K, a super wealthy software company CEO, and he was seriously annoyed about going head-to-head against Cha Yun-woo's crazy bets. His assistant called her betting style fearless. Kay totally agreed, admitting her wild confidence made him seriously question just how overpowered Kang Sun Wu might be. Down in the ring, our protagonist stared down his opponent, hoping he could win this entire fight without ever triggering his fury mode. Playing it smart, he decided to strike first just to test the waters and see what Luhan was really made of. But as he charged, the Kung Fu master casually blocked it and unleashed a devastating counterattack, sending Kang flying straight across the entire arena. Before Kang could even breathe, his opponent blurred forward at absolute lightning speed. Striking hard, he instantly pinned Kang right against the wall. You probably thought it was over, right? Luhan even shouted at the drone, demanding his victory announcement. Peering closer, he realized Kang was still completely conscious. Time to stop playing games and crank the violence up to max. But this time, Kang exploded forward, first showing a massive spike in raw strength and completely changing his whole vibe. Deciding age didn't matter, Luhan dropped his mercy entirely and launched himself right back into the brutal counteroffensive. Kang wasn't just gonna take it though. Finding a split-second opening, he blasted Luhan with a massive, heavy-hitting counter-strike. Shockingly, Luhan just flipped and landed without a single scratch. Kang stood there, wondering if the dude was literally made of rubber. Smirking, Luhan realized that to crush a monster, he simply needed to become a much bigger monster. Shifting his footwork, he fully activated his tiger stance. He lunged in like a predator and landed a devastating blow on Kang. Totally caught off guard, our guy gritted his teeth, ready to push past his absolute limits. But when Kang swung back, Luhan didn't just dodge, his entire movement pattern had shifted into something dangerously unpredictable. A sudden strike clipped Kang's ear, leaving him completely baffled by these weird new movements. Switching to snake style, Luhan unleashed a relentless barrage, striking Kang from every impossible angle imaginable. Up top, the bald guy noted Luhan had traveled everywhere, mastering animal fighting styles, making this perfectly prepared martial artist an absolute nightmare to fight. Knowing all this, Kang braced himself. It was time to finally put this guy in the dirt. But as he moved, Luhan flipped into monkey style, vaulting upward to deliver a brutal mid-air kick to his face. Preaching that true martial arts required mimicking raw nature, Luhan smiled and dashed straight toward Kang for the final blow. But Kang was baiting him. He stood his ground, knowing a tiny burst of his pure fury would finish this instantly. Stepping into the strike zone, Kang rushed forward, leaving Luhan totally confused by his reckless strategy. Luhan desperately tried to counter but got absolutely crushed when the heavy impact landed. Stumbling back, Luhan realized one more strange hit would end him. So what do you and I take from this? The real fight just started. Let's dive right back in together. Watch closely as Kang grabs his escaping opponent and casually tosses him like absolute trash. Feeling that crazy superhuman grip, Luhan struggles to break free. He honestly thinks Kang's raw strength won't even matter. He figures the guy will gas out eventually, giving him an opening. Surprise, our protagonist has stamina for literal days. Realizing he's completely trapped, Luhan totally freezes up and becomes a sitting duck. One devastating direct hit later, Kang is the last man standing. A floating drone flies in and declares him the winner. His sponsor goes wild, hyping this up as just the start. Plus, she won her bet and snagged Mr. Cam for her side. Meanwhile, Mr. Cam is absolutely fuming. Nobody likes taking a massive loss. His buddy asks if he's seriously crossing the Hoshin group. Cam fires back way better than fighting the combat wing. Turns out he made backup bets. Up in the booth, the host studies Minsu, noticing he literally uses his fingers like slashing knives. Totally blown away, he wonders how a random school kid learned such a lethal move. The assistant explains the lore. This kid had a rare disease making him super weak, which sparked a crazy obsession with pure strength. Stuck at home all day, he pulled all-nighters binge-watching pro mixed martial arts champions. He analyzed every single move on screen. Eventually, simply watching wasn't enough anymore, and that innocent desire turned into pure madness. Soon, he started getting totally hooked on weapon-based combat styles. Now pay attention, this is where it gets wild for us. Knowing his body was weak, he locked himself away, starving just to practice. Emerging from isolation, he hit his dad with a chilling question. If he killed the world's strongest man, would he take the crown? His dad was completely horrified. He never thought his sickly boy would turn out this dark. But he couldn't stop him. Honestly, this twisted obsession was the only spark keeping his son fighting against the fatal illness. A little while later, stopping him wasn't even an issue anymore. His body became way too fragile to train. Right at rock bottom, the ward officially took Minsu under their wing. The dad just wanted his boy to survive. But looking at him now, that kid has morphed into an absolute uncontrollable monster. Cut back to the arena. Minsu realizes he can only move like this, thanks to pure raw battle adrenaline. Without that rush, he just feels agony. So he isn't fighting for points, he's fighting to utterly destroy his opponent. Fueled by that dark thought, he lunges forward, slashing his knife-like fingers. But Amanda blocks the strike like a pro. Still, she immediately notices the heavy difference in this guy's raw power. Shocked that his attack got stuffed, Minsu leaves himself wide open. Amanda doesn't hesitate for a second and launches a vicious counterattack. Minsu barely dodges the direct hit, but he still catches a nasty grazing blow straight across his back. Up in the VIP section, Amanda's sponsor starts cheering, but his assistant bursts his bubble. She actually missed the knockout. He explains her knockout punch failed. Han Minsu is literally still on his feet, which is an absolute first in her match history. I know what you're thinking, she's in major trouble now. Down in the arena, Amanda finally respects her opponent's insane strength. She realizes something crazy. Despite his sharp, precise strikes, he doesn't move like a trained fighter. Across the ring, Han Minsu smirks, openly impressed that she can actually match his ridiculous speed. He admits out loud that he's never craved eliminating someone this badly. He really wants to see how that dark feeling tastes. Not caring at all, Amanda shuts him up with a massive strike, flooring him. Minsu bounces back fast, swinging those blade fingers again. Amanda dodges one, but boom, he swings his left hand, flexing that he's completely ambidextrous. Even then, she slips past his guard and lands a solid counterattack. She sends him flying backward, hyping up her sponsor again. Sick of getting battered, Minsu decides to pull a super risky strategy. He literally tanks a hit on purpose. Using that tiny opening, he slashes straight into Amanda's foot, finally dealing some real damage. With a ruined foot, Amanda is struggling to even stand up. Minsu starts bragging about shredding her tendons. But plot twist, she adapts instantly, using her hands to balance, declaring she only needs one arm to fight. Right after that flex, she unleashes a terrifying one-armed attack that completely catches Minsu off guard. He's left totally stunned. How is she generating that much raw destructive force with just one arm? Knowing his body will break if he takes another hit, Minsu rushes in, but Amanda easily weaves away. Despite missing, he sees her breathing heavy. He figures out the cheat code, just keep pressing the attack until her stamina hits 0. So what do you and I make of this? Amanda is pushing every single limit to survive this total bloodbath. Getting that she actually thanked him for the golden opportunity. Stick with me here because she finally found a reason to risk it all, completely unlocking her true, terrifying power. No more holding back. She dashed right at Minsu. He thought dodging would be easy. Wrong. Her speed was absolutely insane, way faster than him. In a flash, Amanda locked her legs right around his neck, putting everything into completely crushing his skull. Minsu tried swinging at her legs, but Amanda shut that down, launching him clean across the arena. Her sponsor started cheering his head off way too early. But his assistant quickly pointed out one tiny massive problem. The guy finally noticed Amanda took a massive hit without even realizing it. She stood there confused, having zero clue when the strike even landed. Across the ring, Minsu was flat on the ground but definitely still conscious. His mind went totally blank. His whole body felt completely numb, a terrible feeling he remembered way too well from his childhood. But remembering how he survived way worse beatdowns back then, he scraped together every single drop of strength he had left. Slowly, he forced himself up. And across the arena, Amanda did the exact same thing. Pulling out her absolute last reserves, she flat out promised to keep fighting until her heart stopped beating. Watch closely now. Amanda rushed in, pouring everything into one final strike. Seeing her coming, Minsu felt a weird chill, wondering if this was actual fear. Zero hesitation. She landed a clean, devastating hit, slamming him brutally into the thick wall. That impact left Minsu barely hanging on, but he refused to drop without firing off one final counterattack. A second later, Amanda realized she took a brutal hit too. Totally drained of energy, she crashed hard onto the floor, sending her sponsor into pure panic mode. Both fighters were out cold. Who the heck won? Simple rules. Whoever stands first takes the win. A camera drone zoomed right in, catching the exact second Han Minsu finally opened his eyes. Just like that, they handed him the win, pushing Minsu straight into the tournament's top 4. Up in her VIP booth, Kang Wu was absolutely loving it. But her assistant looked pretty stressed, warning that her rival's victory might make the other sponsors join his side. Kang Wu totally brushed that off. She confidently claimed this upset would actually bring all those powerful backers right to her doorstep. Meanwhile, Amanda's sponsor was furious, angrily yelling at his team to get her to a doctor. Right after that chaos, the announcer hyped up the next match. You and I have been waiting for this. Ryan versus Kim Minho is finally happening. Jason watched, knowing perfectly well this was the showdown the kid desperately wanted. His assistant noted that winning here meant they could finally shut down the production of that twisted drug that took Jason's daughter's life. The CEO nodded. He gambled everything on this match. If he lost, he'd be forced to dump his entire massive fortune into a greedy company he absolutely hated. Even knowing the insane stakes, he admitted there was zero backing out now. He completely needed the boy to pull off this win. Down in the ring, Ryan stared at his opponent, writing him off as just some other brainless boxer. He laughed at how some fighters used cutting-edge science to get strong, while arrogant fools ignored it to play tough. Ryan figured if these idiots couldn't grasp the incredible power he held, he'd gladly teach them a brutal lesson, totally crushing them with his own 2 hands. Over his whole career, he'd already destroyed plenty of strong fighters, exactly like this. But honestly, beating them only made him completely obsessed with getting even stronger. Just when that power hunger got too crazy, his golden ticket into this massive tournament finally arrived. Ryan knew Minho was the brother of a guy he already killed in the ring, making this whole matchup incredibly fun for him. But Kim Minho fired back, calling him straight up pathetic. He roasted Ryan for using drugs and still needing to ambush an injured guy just to win a fight. To top it off, Minho promised to show this cheater what real raw strength looked like. Getting annoyed, Ryan smirked and threw a nasty insult, mocking how Minho's dead brother said the exact same thing. Absolutely blind with rage, Kim Minho exploded right into a full assault. Bam! They traded massive punches at the exact same time, suddenly realizing their speed and raw power were dead even. Still, Minho kept throwing crazy combos, but shockingly, his opponent just smoothly dodged every single punch he threw. Up in the stands, Isugo, the shady pharma CEO backing Ryan, smirked, mocking how Minho's supposedly legendary speed looked pretty average today. His assistant chimed in, explaining how Ryan's totally enhanced senses let him read the attacks perfectly, making him virtually impossible to touch. Down in the ring, Ryan laughed out loud, teasing that Minho's strikes were hilariously predictable. So what do you and I make of this? It looks easy now, but Minho promises his next move is going to completely shock us. Alright, jump in with me here. Minho speeds up, but Ryan easily blocks every single strike. Ryan even pins Minho down, slamming him into the dirt, and mocks him for being completely trapped. But Minho just grins. He tells his opponent to step harder because the warm-up is officially over. Boom, he launches a crazy counterattack. Minho moves like absolute lightning, moving way too fast for Ryan to even track. Panicking and needing an opening, Ryan frantically tries to back away to get some breathing room. Not happening. Minho lands a clean shot. Ryan hits back and the massive impact of their double punch sends both guys flying across the arena. Shaking it off, Ryan throws another insult. He claims Minho is just as pathetic as his brother. Minho ignores the bait. Instead, he figures out Ryan actually needs to take damage to strike back. He realizes his opponent takes hits on purpose just to counterattack, totally unable to match his crazy speed. Ryan snaps back, arguing that pure speed means absolutely nothing against his heavy punches. Minho disagrees. His real weapon, pure willpower. He charges in again, but gets hit with another counter. But this time, Minho smashes Ryan right in the eye, then totally blasts his ear. Suddenly, Ryan realizes his actual senses are rapidly fading. Minho follows up with a brutal strike to the nose. Watch closely because this was all planned. A friend had warned Minho that Ryan's senses were insanely sharp. To win, Kim Minho had to destroy that advantage, and he is doing exactly that right now. Locking onto his blind opponent, he unleashes his full raw power. Ryan completely panics. Unable to dodge, he gets hit hard. Failing to counter, he wonders how this is happening after sacrificing everything to get stronger. A weak worm like Minho should never be able to win, but reality hits hard. He is the actual worm here. Taking another massive hit, Ryan loses all feeling in his broken body. Meanwhile, Kim Minho realizes there is no reason left to hold anything back. Time to unleash everything he has left, and finally make his older brother proud. He unloads a wild machine gun barrage of punches until Ryan literally begs for mercy. The entire stadium watches in absolute dead silence. Ryan collapses completely done for. The victory officially goes to Kim Minho. He dedicates the win to his brother. His buddy even jokes that Minho might just become the strongest man alive after this. Just then, the hyped announcer steps up for match 2. I know what you're thinking, who's next? Enter Menon, an absolute beast who survived endless brutal chemical enhancements. And facing him is Cam, the ultimate final boss of modern superhuman science. His assistant asks about Cam's history, and the host reveals the guy has literally been there since day 1. Only 3 people survived those early tests, including Menon. Down in the arena, the two monsters finally face off. Cam smirks, noting, Menon missed his championship run, so he is super curious to see just how tough this veteran really is. Bam, he lands a direct strike. But Menon doesn't even flinch, showing off absolutely legendary tank-level durability. Menon coldly announces it is his turn. His punch hits Cam's chest but carries so much force it actually wrecks his back. Unlike Menon, Cam definitely feels the damage, gasping in pure agonizing pain from that massive hit. Menon asks if he is worthy now. Cam just laughs like a maniac, swearing Menon could never survive another one of his punches. Without warning, Cam charges forward with double the speed and pure murderous force. Cam delivers a devastating punch straight into Menon's face. His neck twists at a horrifying angle, leaving the entire crowd absolutely stunned and totally speechless. Cam actually thanks his opponent, admitting that the brutal experiments on Menon laid the groundwork for perfect superhumans like himself. But plotting a crazy comeback, Menon proves he is still very much alive. He smiles and says he should be thanking him. He explains that thanks to Cam, he finally gets to unleash his true terrifying power without holding back. Boom! Menon strikes with zero hesitation, sending Cam straight into an absolute world of pain. The crushing blow instantly knocks Cam out cold, shocking the crowd. A drone quickly buzzes down, officially confirming Menon as the absolute winner. Menon's sponsor goes completely wild. And he is not alone, because Cheyenne Wu is also celebrating hard. He smugly thinks crushing a veteran like Menon will be an absolute joke for his fighter. Kim completely disagrees. Menon is wild and unpredictable, and trust me, you and I definitely want to see this next clash. Stick with me, you and I are about to witness pure madness. In recovery, the doctor finds Menon has insane regeneration skills now. Hearing that, the event host grins. Their ultimate dream, finally, right around the corner. But Menon shakes his head. He knows someone else, our main guy, has healing abilities way crazier than his own. Speaking of Kang, he is chilling in his VIP room. The bald dude mentions a huge shocker: the supposedly weakest fighters actually advanced. Plus, it sucks that Usyk and Amanda lost to the same guy. Stressed out Kang just wants to know if they escaped the building safely. The woman drops a bombshell. 0 losers have ever been seen leaving this place. That sets Kang off. He is furious about his missing friends, completely clueless about the totally messed up secrets this facility is hiding. Back in the arena, the host hypes up the next match. Han Min-soo versus Kang Sun Wu. He announces the fight, starts the second, both guys are fully patched up. Meanwhile, Min-soo is literally intubated from his last brawl. Knocked out, his brain drifts into a flashback. He remembers becoming a martial master. Back then, he figured he needed to stick close to heavy hitters so bullies would back off. At his school, only one absolute beast had that kind of terrifying reputation: Kang Sun Wu. Minsu figured Kang wouldn't look down on him. He hoped once Kang saw his combat notes, he would instantly recognize his true potential. Now pay attention, this is where it clicks. A bully tries pressing Kang, gets totally ignored, and Minsu absolutely loves watching it happen. Later on, he sneakily drops his notebook on Kang's desk, way too terrified to actually talk to him, so he just creepily watched from a distance. The next day, he finally built up the guts to talk, but spots his book trashed on the floor. Assuming Kang just dropped it by mistake, Minsu saw this as the absolute perfect excuse to strike up a conversation. Soon after, he spots our MC in the courtyard, dodging bullies. Minsu waited for the trash to clear, then walked up asking about the notebook. But Kang completely ignored him, treated him like the exact same bugs Minsu hated. Utterly humiliated, Minsu just wanted to run away and hide his burning face. Making it 10 times worse, he trips and eats dirt, completely destroying whatever pride he had left. Back to reality. He used to want to die from that shame. Now he wants to kill the guy who looked right past him. Minutes later, they finally step into the ring, staring each other down. Minsu screams that rejecting his book was a massive mistake, instantly rushing in to slash with his blade hands. Kang barely dodges, catching a nasty graze. Minsu instantly ramps up his accuracy, landing multiple sharp slices across Kang's body. Fighting back, our MC splatters his own blood to blind the guy. But Minsu just laughs. Cute trick, but there is nowhere left to run. Kang suddenly realizes the danger. This dude isn't just insanely fast, he is targeting vital spots with scary precision. He has to dodge perfectly. The problem, Minsu's speed is totally overwhelming. Kang is getting sliced up before he can even block. Minsu mocks his weakness. But you and I both know, Kang is hiding something. Out of options, he readies his craziest move. Minsu has absolutely no clue what is happening, but he brags that he is way deadlier than Usyk. In his mind, nothing Kang tries can possibly stop his victory now. Shocker, Kang literally punches himself. Minsu immediately capitalizes on that wild opening to strike him again. He laughs it off, claiming Kang's aim was so garbage he literally hit his own heart. What Minsu doesn't realize, that self-harm was 100% calculated. He is briefly spooked, but foolishly decides to just keep spamming attacks, thinking he has already won this fight. But the second he charges in, Kang casually blocks it. Then with terrifying raw power, he completely crushes Minsu's left hand. Freaking out from the agonizing pain of losing a limb, Minsu yells that he can still fight with his right. Too bad for him, Kang instantly locks down that arm too. He smirks, revealing he copied this exact move from Usyk, the guy Minsu just insulted. Bam! He follows up with a brutal strike, snapping Minsu's right leg completely. Totally desperate, the broken fighter attempts one last swing. Kang just coldly tells him he should have surrendered earlier. With one swift counter, he slams him down in a truly brutal display for the crowd. Crushed, Minsu sends one last message. So what do you and I think happens next? Stick with me, we are about to dive into a brutal death game. Han tells Kang they are both total loners, but at least he never played pretend. How does losing friends feel? But our guy doesn't flinch. He swears he hasn't lost them, and will definitely see them again. Han just drops a cruel smirk. Only the champion walks out alive. He calls Kang a total idiot for thinking this was just some innocent little game. Completely panicked by the brutal truth, our hero demands answers, but Han just mutters that they are literal lab rats before blacking out. A drone buzzes in, declaring Kang the official winner of the match. But let's be real, this doesn't feel like a victory at all. Meanwhile, the announcer hypes up the next brutal match to decide who faces Kang in the finals. In one corner, we have Kim Minho, the speedster. Facing him, Menon, the literal human tank. Menon coldly claims this fight is just a warm-up to see who his ultimate prey will be. He slowly steps forward. Minho instantly slides back, already calculating his enemy's every move. Right away, Minho knows this isn't just a tough guy. This dude is a violently drugged-up maniac. And worse, Menon is 100% ready to kill him right here. Now pay attention here. Menon makes the rules clear, no giving up. One of them is dying tonight. He flexes confidently, boasting that his freaky body is basically entirely indestructible. Minho smirks, asking if he is celebrating way too early. Menon just replies his victory is absolute. Not buying it for a second, Minho promises to prove him dead wrong and blitzes forward. Menon smoothly dodges the strike and tries grabbing Kim's arm. But Minho is too fast. He slips away instantly, appearing behind his enemy for a brutal strike. The hit actually makes Menon respect his speed. He tries a counterswing but gets totally blindsided by another massive hit. Menon realizes this kid is the fastest fighter he has ever fought. Meanwhile, Minho decides aiming for the head is his best bet. He launches a lightning-fast combo, but Menon actually dodges it. Going for another strike, Kim nearly gets his own head taken off. The monster is adapting. Suddenly, he watches Menon's arms twist and snap in sickening ways. What is wrong with this freak? But insanely, those shattered limbs snap right back to normal in seconds. Kim is stunned. This psycho literally broke his own arms just to use them like whips, then healed them like it was absolutely nothing. Across the ring, Menon praises his opponent, but to put this kid down for good, he is going to need a lot more power. I know what you're thinking, a monster transformation. Oh, absolutely. Seeing this nightmare, Kim knows he can't hold back anymore. He has to end this with one final full power strike. He launches like a guided missile straight behind him. But Menon is ready this time, perfectly timing his own lethal counterattack as Kim closes in. They clash at the exact same time. Pure destruction. The crazy shockwave blasts them both backward, leaving the VIP sponsors sweating in pure terror. Seconds later, Minho forces himself up. Jason cheers for his boy, but his partner coldly says it's not over. Because moments later, Menon rises from the dust, making his sponsor smile. He slowly walks over and actually thanks Kim. The battle data he just gathered will help create a perfect new human race. Then he violently shoves the completely exhausted speedster down and Kim just can't stand up. A drone instantly crowns Menon the winner. It's official, Menon versus Kang. Up in the VIP booth, Chayun prays, "Our boy is ready for this." Our main character marches right up to her demanding intel on his missing friends. Chayun admits she is also pretty clueless. But she drops a hint, there are dark zones here that even the top VIPs can't enter. Kang is absolutely desperate for answers, but she gives a harsh reality check. Die here, and he loses his parents forever. So, her advice, survive the final deathmatch first, then they can make a move. He hates playing along and pushes back hard. He just needs to know if they are alive. She promises to find out the truth soon, since she set up a secret meeting with the other elites. But until she gets those answers, he needs to stay alive and win. Meanwhile, deep inside the medical wing, a doctor notices Menon's healing factor is getting dangerously fast. The host walks in grinning. Their twisted little project is almost fully complete. So, what do you and I take from all this? Trouble. They just found Kang's parents hiding inside Chayun's private villa. The trap is set. Alright, stick with me here. The host just realized his targets were hiding right under his nose. His employee confirms the location is completely surrounded, and their assault teams are ready to breach. And just like that, armed intruders kick the door completely off its hinges, catching Kang's mom totally off guard. Meanwhile, back at the facility, the host hypes up the crowd and kicks off the tournament finals. Down in the arena, our guy Kang knows one thing. Win this final match, and he gets his prize. But his opponent, Menon. He is planning to push Kang past his absolute limits to finish their twisted experiment. Even if it means killing him. Kang glares at him. What the hell does he mean by ending the experiment? Menon smirks, revealing that he recognized Kang instantly. Why? Because Kang's DNA perfectly matches the father he was separated from. Kang is completely stunned, wondering how he could possibly know that. But Menon just laughs. He claims it was easy, since he is the exact guy who dragged Kang's parents to this hellhole. Hearing that makes Kang absolutely snap. And honestly, that blind rage is exactly what Menon wanted to trigger all along. Now watch this closely. Menon taunts him, saying his parents are coming soon so they can all die together. Furious Kang blocks the incoming attack with his literal forehead. He screams that if Menon wants to see his true power, he is going to get it. Boom! Kang delivers a brutal kick straight to Menon's gut, crushing him so hard he sinks into the floor. The impact is so insane that the entire arena floor violently shatters. Up in the VIP box, the host gasps as Menon dangles over a massive pit of lethal spikes. But Menon is a cockroach. He digs his fingers in and literally crawls his way back up. Jumping back into the fight, he sneers that if this is Kang's limit, the kid really deserves to be buried. Then Menon whips out his freaky elastic arm, landing a vicious hit that nearly rips Kang's right arm off. Looking down at him, Menon coldly states that the father is enough. The son is now useless. He follows up with another brutal strike, hitting Kang dead on. Che-Yan-Woo watches from afar, looking totally horrified. Standing over the bleeding kid, Menon tells him to smile because a family reunion in hell is waiting. But then the unthinkable happens. Kang starts moving again. He grips Menon's arm like a vice, growling about his family before casually lifting the massive guy into the air. He slams him down like a ragdoll, asking if Menon ruined his life just for cash. Coughing blood, Menon calls himself the ultimate experiment. Scrambling away from the angry protagonist, Menon screams that the warm-up is over. No more holding back now. You and I know what this means. The true battle for survival starts right here. Menon charges in like a maniac, yelling that dodging is impossible. But Kang coldly replies that he doesn't need to. Instead of running, Kang tanks the hit with his head. The insane impact shatters Menon's elastic arm into pieces. Then Kang grabs him and delivers a monstrous headbutt. To finish the job, he launches Menon with godlike force. The guy flies out of the arena, crashing hard into a restricted VIP zone. Kang slowly walks after him, making it clear he does not care about tournament prize money. He just wants his family to be left alone. Coughing violently, Menon chuckles and says money was never the real goal. He reveals that the tournament host is completely insane. The guy is obsessed with achieving immortality and becoming a literal god. Because the host thinks he is untouchable, Menon promises that Kang's family will never see the outside world again. Menon rambles that with enough money and twisted science, ascending to godhood is actually possible here. He tells Kang to feel honored as a successful lab rat right before dropping a bomb. Kang's parents are arriving for the final test. Panicking for answers, Kang grabs him by the collar, but Menon completely blacks out before he can drop any more hints. A referee drone buzzes over, officially declaring Kang the winner of the match. But the main character could not care less about some title. He smashes the drone into pieces. Instantly blaring alarms echo through the entire facility. A lethal lockdown order goes out to execute all the unstable test subjects. Totally confused by the chaos, Kang watches heavily armed guards flood into the sector. The guards start shooting, but the bullets literally bounce off the mutated test subjects. Realizing they are outmatched, the soldiers start running for their lives. But they aren't fast enough. A bloodthirsty test subject leaps forward and tears them apart. Kang needs to find Chae-Yan Wu. Trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. Let's dive right in. Chae-Yan Wu's ally finally convinces her to bail, but mid-escape, a wild mutant test subject suddenly jumps out to attack her. Boom! Kang appears out of nowhere, smashing the creature and snatching Chae-Yan Wu from absolute danger. She is completely stunned. How did he even move that incredibly fast? Kang cuts the small talk. He demands she guide him to the restricted zone, making it crystal clear he is absolutely not leaving until his friends are completely safe. A few tense minutes pass, and they hit the entrance. The bald ally panics, yelling it is too dangerous, and refuses to step inside. Kang just smirks. Standing by his side is their safest bet, so pushing forward is literally their only option. Deep inside the restricted wing, the surviving group is running, but Usyk collapses, totally drained of energy. Right on time, Kang swoops in to lift him up, but as they group together, the sick host steps up to block them. His twisted experiment is not finished yet. He glares at Kang, threatening to wipe out all his friends if he disobeys. Slamming the emergency lock, he completely traps Kang and the crew inside the lab. Now pay attention here. The heavy door suddenly jams, and to everyone's shock slides back open. On the other side, the escaping host takes a brutal hit and drops straight to the floor. That is when Kang looks up and sees his dad. He simply came to take his son home. Hearing a terrifying noise from behind, Kang rushes his friends out. The second they cross the line, his dad slams the door completely shut. The crazy host screams that the experiment must continue, but he is totally left in the dust. Stuck alone with a mob of furious mutant test subjects, yeah, karma hits incredibly hard. Sirens wail as a blaring countdown warns the entire facility is about to blow. Fast forward. After cleaning up combat bets and making heavy-hitter friends, Chae-Yan Wu finally locked those corrupt brothers behind bars. I know we both love seeing the good guys win. She fixed the Hosian group, completely exhausted, but finally breathing a massive sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Kang is chilling back at school. Thanks to Chae-Yan Wu backing him up, he might actually manage to graduate this year. He also realized those crazy doping effects his dad thought were gone. They fully reactivated after his massive injuries. With the chaos over, his dad opened a brand new boxing gym. It immediately hooked fresh students and rich businessmen alike. But he is not running it alone. Kim Min-ho actually stepped up to teach boxing classes. Though honestly, the guy still struggles to control his crazy speed while doing totally normal stuff. Amanda drops by the gym pretty often too, but definitely not to throw any punches. Kang's dad is super annoyed. Her fame attracts obsessed stalkers and wild paparazzi, making it a total nightmare to sign up any normal students. Making things even more chaotic, Chae-Yan Wu starts showing up there too. Then Kang casually walks in. Frustrated, his dad begs him to stop treating the business like a hangout spot because it is ruining the vibe. Kang just smiles. Though his body still burns with intense power, he finally stops seeing himself as a monster. Miles away, a shady figure asks if the whole experiment completely failed. Menon smirks. And trust me, you and I know this is just the beginning of something massive.